KHSAA's Call of the Day anytime at talkradio1080.com.
Hi, Richard Lumberson, owner of Gutter Helmet. They're coming. Yes, folks, those pesky leaves are on the way. Be sure to get Gutter Helmet, the nation's #1 gutter protection, serving Kentuckiana for over 35 years.
Call Gutter Helmet today, 502-671-6949 for a free, no-obligation in-home estimate and receive 20% off.
Why consider anything else? There's only one Gutter Helmet. Ask for it by name.
Checking your blind spots? By only monitoring your credit, you could miss certain identity threats. But LifeLock sees a range of identity threats. If there's a problem, U.S.-based specialists can work to fix it. Go to lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Talk Radio 1080, WKJK Louisville, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, gosh, I was just hoping that you had a check for me. Had a check? You're just signing all those checks away. I hear you. Check, check, check.
exclusive 2017 coverage of the St. X Tigers and Jefferson County High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Now, here's the Eye Care Institute pregame report. Let's head out to the field and join John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.
John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers, welcoming you to another night of St. X Tiger football. In fact, it's our fifth Friday in a row here at Brother Thomas More Stadium, and we hope it goes to 6 next week. It is round 3, quarterfinal action. It's the regional championship game tonight between the St. X Tigers and the Butler Bears. And, Tony, the Tigers won the district. We expected them to be here tonight to nice wins in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, but the team we didn't expect to be here tonight, and that is here, the Butler Bears.
Yeah, John, the Butler Bears have done a great job here in the playoffs. A good football team comes in here 8-4 tonight, and nobody really, like you said, expected them to be here. They were the 4 seed. They went to Ryle and won 20-14 against a highly ranked Ryle team in 6A. Then last week they pulled a big upset, which I consider a lot bigger upset than the Ryle game, over on the old dirt campus against the Male Bulldogs. 14-6, they beat them, and everybody around town looked up, and all of a sudden the Bears are showing up.
Yeah, including us, no question about it. The Tigers with wins 36-7 over Manual, 16-7 over Pleasure Ridge Park last week, a game that was a tough one for the Tigers last week. PRP was very emotional after the head coach lost his wife earlier in the week. They came in here, they score on the opening play of the game, Tony, but that's the only 7 they got.
They did, and the Tiger defense has played great the second half of this season. The last 5 games, John, they've 2 shutouts, 2 games they gave up 7, and 1 they gave up 16 against a really good Cincinnati St. X team. So the defense playing so well, and Butler, who has nothing to lose, comes in here tonight, and the Tigers put it to him out here back on October the 20th. Tigers won 37-0, but it was a game that started for Butler with a fumble on the first play of the game. Tigers score a couple plays later. The Tigers get it back and score, and Butler was just swimming uphill the whole way and just never could get back in the game. In a Butler team who is going to throw it around tonight and try to give themselves an opportunity to beat the Tigers.
And they've got a running back who did not carry the ball in that first game, Eric Jackson. He's got 800 yards and 12 touchdowns on the season. He played in 10 games, did play some defense in that game, but did not play at the running back spot. He was a little nicked up, and I think Coach Gary Wheeler just wanted to hold him out. Ended up being 37-0. He had a nice game against Mayo last week, and Butler's a team that has caused Ryle and Mayo to turn the ball over the first 2 weeks. Mayo with 5 miscues last week. So the Tigers can hang on to the football. I think they have confidence that they'll take care of this one in orderly fashion here tonight.
Yeah, the turnovers are huge, and the Tigers with that 37-0 win the first time and all the turnovers by Butler. Butler only managed 47 yards in that game, 60 yards passing and a -13. That's including sacks, rushing the football. So they were never in the game. And last week when we saw the game against PRP, when PRP started off quickly with the first touchdown on the first play of the game, that's what Butler's got to do. Butler's got to get on the board early to give St. X a push and maybe put a little pressure on them. If not, I don't see good things happening for Coach Wheeler's team from out on Dixie Highway.
They do like to throw the football. Chaz Burks, 1,800 yards, 21 touchdowns. He's thrown 11 interceptions on the year, the sophomore quarterback, and he's got some nice weapons. The double Franks, Frank Bentley and Frank Caldwell, have combined for 800 yards and 7 TDs. But when they go long, it's going to be Tay-Tay Crooms, Tony, 28 catches, 728 yards. That's about 30 yards a catch, 13 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, and they've also got a few other guys, John, and Caldwell and Bentley, who have caught for over 400 yards. And the weird thing about the first game is, I don't remember this, but Tigers must have had the ball the whole game because Burks was 9 for 17. He only threw 17 passes, and they only carried the ball maybe 20 times. So that's not many offensive plays in the football game. There's probably a few more that I don't see, but the Tigers.
So clock control. Yeah,
clock control. Tigers had the football. Butler could never get going, and you got to think that Burks is going to try to throw the ball down the field for the Bears.
Jack Albers on the St. X side comes back last week after sitting out the Manual game. Played okay, I think. Didn't really carry, only had 2 carries, which is not his game. He likes to run the football. Certainly expect to see more of that tonight. Jack, 83 of 139 on the year with 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but 448 yards on the ground and 9 touchdowns on the ground. Dominic Allgaier, of course, filling in. Well, first he was helping fill in for Metzmeyer, Brett Metzmeyer, who was injured earlier in the season against Pleasure Ridge Park, out for the year. Now he's filling in for Anthony Moretti. Game time decision, you'll hear that from Will Wolford, but he will not play tonight. Dominic, big game last week.
Big game last week, Johnny. Ran the ball 36 times for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. And in the first game against Butler, Dominic Allgaier had 8 carries for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was kind of his coming out party, really. And Moretti carried it 6 times for 60 yards, so you lose that. But Dominic Allgaier last week was as good. And he took a lot of hits when you carry the ball 35 times. And you got to remember, he was a slot receiver earlier in the year, and he wasn't taking those hits. So, yeah, he's healthier, but you're not used to taking those hits too. And I guarantee you on Saturday last week, Dominic Allgaier had a day where he just laid around a whole lot.
And if Dominic does have to get a blow tonight, you'll see Will Ginter in there, the senior. 6 carries on the year, 75 yards and a touchdown. Had a big run last week against PRP. He's also had 11 catches on the year for 52 yards. But when Jack wants to throw, he's got some a good receiving core. We talked about Butler's receivers. Tigers got some really good guys to throw the ball to as well.
They do, John. And they haven't had to throw the ball a lot this year because of that offensive line in the running game. But when you go past Will Crum, Ben Mueller's been a big receiver for the Tigers. He's got 17 catches for 401 yards, but 5 of them are for touchdowns. And Cameron Garrett, who switched over about halfway through the year from safety to wide receiver, has only got 10 catches, but he's always a threat, and he's averaging over 10 yards a catch. So you look at all that, and then guys like Ginter. Ginter will be used out of the backfield catching the ball. He's caught 11 passes this year. So it's been very, very, the ball's been distributed well by the Tigers.
Well, there's a nip in the air, which means basketball season is here. Head coach Kevin Klein will join me after our first break. We're about 18 minutes away from kickoff between the Bears and the Tigers. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the St. X Tigers on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays 7 to 10 a.m. on 790 a.m. These broadcasts are just an example of the vast marketing communication services we offer at the Bissig Impact Group. Give us a call at 583-0333 or visit Bissig.com. The Bissig Impact Group. Innovative, integrated marketing.
Let's see. I need to replace the microwave, so I'll stop by Bargain Supply. We need a new shovel and garden gloves. I'll get those at Bargain Supply. Oh, and light bulbs. Bargain Supply for those, too. Well, this should be an easy trip.
Bargain Supply has 60,000 square feet of merchandise, so you can find and save on everything you need in one easy stop. Save on appliances, electronics, tools, and more at Bargain Supply, 844 East Jefferson in Nulu, downtown Louisville.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape? Knights Travel can meet all your travel needs. Knights Travel is Louisville's premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacation. For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750 or Kaylin Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by Nights. It's the best way to travel.
Fans, want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all your vision needs. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com or call 589-1500. That's 589-1500.
Kickoff between the St. X Tigers and the Butler Bears Regional Championship quarterfinal state 6A action tonight. And before we get started, let's go to some basketball. I love this time of year because I got football on Friday nights. I got some scrimmages, some practices. I can go watch the Tigers. And Kevin Klein, head coach, 9th season. Yeah, you're old. 10th season.
I'm even older than you thought, buddy.
Oh, the website hasn't been updated yet because your roster's not completed yet, right? Is that fair to say?
Well, we're still waiting.
All right. Well, that's a good thing for the football team.
That's right.
You got a big scrimmage coming up, as a matter of fact, Tuesday, South Oldham, 6 o'clock, right over here. Well, I guess downstairs from where we're at right now.
Yeah, we're definitely ready to see
ready to play somebody beside
other than
yourself.
some green and gold. We
Yeah.
had 25 preseason workouts, and we had practice 25 today, and that's on top of everything we did last spring and summer. So our guys are chomping at the bit. We're very excited to get going next Tuesday. Great to have 2 home scrimmages to get us ready for the season. Oldham County and Bowling Green will be our opponents, and those are going to be 2 very formidable
defending
opponents.
State champions.
We got the defending state champions, and then a 8th region contender year in and year out. So we'll get a barometer very quickly next week to kind of see what we're doing well. We kind of think what we know we're doing well and what we need to work on, but we'll definitely be able to figure that out next week.
You open at Atherton November 30th, regular season play. Usually it's the Central Yellow Jackets, and I know that's the home opener, but who's gotten into the schedule? I like playing the Doug Bibby first game.
It had been Central ever since I can remember,
Yeah.
And then they had a master schedule game against Wagner that they couldn't move, and we tried to work all different angles and couldn't do it, so it's kind of bizarre how we're opening up on a Thursday night on the road at 6 o'clock against Atherton, and then we'll get to play the Yellow Jackets the next Tuesday at home. So a little bit out of our control, but that will give us a few days that week coming back to get ready for Thursday, and we'll definitely be excited to get ready to go in for that.
So the week before Christmas, you're in Owensboro at the Owensboro Invitational. The week between Christmas and New Year's, you're at South Oldham for a 3-day tournament. Tell me about those 2.
Yeah, so this is an off year that we're not going to Florida. We hit Orlando last year, had a great tournament down at Bishop Moore High School, and then our out-of-town tournament this year will be down at Owensboro. Looking forward to that. It's a very good field of teams. The 4 Owensboro schools, Catholic Apollo, Davies County, and Owensboro High, will be in that, as well as 4 out-of-area teams. And a couple of our games will be at the Owensboro Sports Center, which has a lot of history in it, the home of Kentucky Wesleyan. And we'll have a minimum of 3 games. If we go 3-0 in our first 3, we'll play in a championship game against the winner of the other pool, so a chance to play 4 games. And then we'll stay local and play Butler in the first round out of South Oldham, who will have a very good team, and that's a very good field as well. So a chance to get better over the break. We've always used that in the past to kind of catapult us into January with the Trinity game. DeSales, LIT is right around the corner from there, but definitely looking forward to the schedule. And we got about 10 games in December before we hit the tournament. So we think we'll be very ready to go with the experience that we have coming back. It's a little bit uncharted territory this year with so many guys. We typically don't have 1 or 2 football guys, and this year we've got 5 juniors and seniors. Jude Carlin, Sam Borman, Andre Coleman, James Shepard, and Evan Walker.
A couple of
will
those
all
guys
be joining.
started
That's
last
right.
year.
Sam started every game since January, and then Evan was off and on, and then James had a good end of the summer, and Jude and Andre have a chance to help. So with Andrew Lecklider being hurt as of last week and kind of being a little bit thin right now and waiting on some football guys, it's been a great opportunity to develop some young guys in our practices. We had an inter-squad scrimmage today that went really well, and just excited for all the opportunities that these guys are getting. And it's going to be interesting to see how competition works itself out as we start to define roles as we get a full squad.
Trinity game been moved to Bellarmine this year, January 5th. You like that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great fit. You know, the freshman and JV teams are going to play the night before on a Thursday. And then Friday night will be just us at 7:30, and we expect to sell that game out. And as you know, Knights Hall is an awesome venue when there's a lot of people and a lot of noise in there, and that's definitely something our guys are looking forward to and working hard towards, and that's an opportunity that they will earn, and hopefully we'll have a great night.
Should have a great season. Certainly look forward to it. South Oldham this Tuesday, 6 o'clock at the Wills Center, so get over there for the first scrimmage and check out at least part of this team, Pierce Kiesler, James Taylor, among others, but you're going to hang around and watch a little football.
Absolutely. No, this, like you said, great time of year to be this far in November and hosting a home football game to advance to the Final Four, and then a chance to finally get ramped up with our basketball scrimmages next week and Thanksgiving break, and that means into football is near, and beginning of basketball for the high school season is right around the corner, so it's a great time to be a Tiger.
All right, well, appreciate you joining us, Coach. Kevin Cly, head coach of St. X Tigers. We'll hear from the head man of the football team, Will Wolford, when we come back. You're listening to St. X High School Football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Terry Miners here, St. X class of 75. Go Tigers! You know who else loves the Tigers? DFH Heating and Cooling. That's the Don F. Hinkabine Company. Chris, Alex, lots of the Hinkabines have been working for like 80 years taking care of people's HVAC systems. Let them come and just do regular maintenance on your HVAC system so that your heater's ready to crank this winter. Let's go Tigers. Heat them up on the field, and let's go DFH. Call them at 968-6222. And they're online at dfhcompany.com.
We're talking to Mike Littell, Vice President of Advancement for St. X High School. Mike, I understand the school has some really cool new fields for its athletes. What can you tell us about them?
So the new fields are addressing three issues for us. The first and most prominent today is what's happening with concussions and preparation. And we've added a concussion pad, if you will, underneath the surface. And that provides a good opportunity to be prepared for any type of soft tissue injury. And it's the latest technology being offered with synthetic surface fields today. Secondly, we have a coated pellet. And in the old days, you just had ground rubber in your fields. And today we have an acrylic coated pellet that does two things. One, it greatly reduces the temperature of the field on a hot day especially, but it also eliminates some of the chemical that might be in that ground rubber, and that's no longer present when athletes are out there or students are out there using the fields.
For more information about St. X and how it can make your high school students' 4 years great, go to stx.com today.
For over 20 years, Signs Now has been Metro Louisville's go-to source for custom signs and banners. Vehicle lettering, trade show displays, lighted signs, you name it. We deliver durable, high-impact graphics and quick, affordable service. Signs Now is the choice for all your signage needs. Want proof? Just ask the Bissick Impact Group. We're their official sign provider. For more information, call 502-491-8180 or visit us online at signsnow.com.
30 till you're back. Planning an event for thousands? At Events LLC, designers are available to provide custom production and creative design services to coordinate your perfect event. Hosting a smaller gathering? Try their rental, installation, and delivery services. Events LLC has everything needed to facilitate your next event. Their 66,000 square foot warehouse is filled with unique props, linens, dance floors, and anything else you can think of. Call 583-5007 or visit eventsllc.com.
coverage of tonight's big game on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
When you're not cheering on your favorite team and you're ready to tackle that large job or weekend project, Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered. And with more than 525 locations, we're sure to have one convenient to you. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or contractor, you can rely on the experts at Sunbelt Rentals. Call 1-800-NO-SWEAT or visit sunbeltrentals.com for a location nearest you. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now.
There are few things that truly inspire, like seeing young athletes succeed. With this in mind, the Courier-Journal created the Kentucky Sports Awards presented by Norton Sports Health. We're honoring Athletes of the Week for Southern Indiana and Metro Louisville all season long, naming all-area teams for more than a dozen sports, and capping off the year with a red carpet banquet in June. Vote for this week's Athlete of the Week at the CourierJournal.com sports page.
Smart holiday shoppers start with Courier Journal's Thanksgiving Early Edition. Stuffed with Black Friday steals and deals and gift ideas for everyone on your list. It's our biggest edition of the year. Pick up the Thanksgiving CJ. Available a day early on Wednesday afternoon at participating retailers in Clark, Floyd, and Jefferson counties. Subscriber papers will be delivered Thanksgiving morning. Remember, smart holiday shoppers start with Courier Journal's Thanksgiving Early Edition.
You're listening to the exclusive coverage of the St. X Tigers and Jefferson County High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. This season's live play-by-play coverage is sponsored by the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green at 589-1500 or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com. Nights Travel. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel. Courier Journal. The Courier Journal. Now with expanded high school sports coverage. Sundays in print and at courier-journal.com. DFH. Call Don, Chris, or Alex Hinkabye at 968-6222 for all heating and cooling needs. St. X High School. Learn more at stx.com or call 502-637-4712. St. X High School. This is where you start. Events LLC. Custom designs uniquely tailored to your event. From setup to takedown, we'll make your event extraordinary. Bissig Impact Group. Integrated, innovative marketing. Now let's go live to the field and join John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers for tonight's big game.
Xavier High School, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. It is round 3 regional championship in the 6A Kentucky playoffs. St. X and Butler here at St. X, and the coin toss has been made. It's a chilly night down there, Jim Brinkman.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It feels like a heat wave compared to last week and the week before that. Hey, Butler won the toss and deferred, so St. X is going to get the football here to start the game. So kind of surprising choice by the Butler Bulldogs, but it's a beautiful night for football.
Yeah. And
what about the win, Jimmy?
Wind's not too bad. Just a scouting report on the referees, too. This is the same crew that we had for the semifinal match last year at Papa John's at the against Trinity.
Yeah, and I agree, Tony. A little surprised that the Bears didn't want the football. Now, you brought up the first play the last time they played here, the bad snap, they turned the ball over. So maybe in the back of their minds, they want to let their defense do some things. Opening kickoff last week against Mayo, they caused the Bulldog fumble, and the Bears went in and scored early in that game.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's exactly, John. The disaster, I think Coach Wheeler wanted to stay away from anything bad happening, but I would not want to give St. X the ball if I was Butler on a normal night to give it up. So we'll see how it works for the Butler Bears, who come in here on a great streak, winning the first 2 rounds of the playoff as the 4th seed. So you're looking at the 1 seed, the St. X Tigers, and the 4th seed from the same district playing in the regional final tonight.
Frank Caldwell will kick it away. Andre Coleman, Cameron Garrett deep for the Tigers. Butler in their road white uniforms with red numerals. St. X off the board tonight. We'll tell you about their uniforms after this kickoff goes out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Just a shank from Frank Bentley. Tigers in the home black unis, at least the top half, with the green numerals, gold trim, white pants tonight, and the traditional white helmet with the green X on the side. So the Tigers will start 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Jack Albers, 6'1", 175-pound senior. He will run the show. Starts with Dominic Allgaier. Trenton Zoller in. Zoller's the H-back. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Rolling right is Albers. Wants to keep it. Does keep it. Crosses the 35 to the 40 and hog-tied by Kyron Anderson, co-captain for the Bears. After a gain of 5, it'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, Anderson had 12 tackles in the first game against the Tigers, and he is their leading tackler on the year with 118 tackles.
2nd and 5. Here's Allgaier. Off tackle up the middle. First down and more. Across midfield. Hauled down from behind. Good open field tackle that time. Detrick Trotter, Greg Jackson combined on the tackle, but not until Allgaier got all the way to the 45 of Butler, a gain of 15.
They go right off the right guard, Nick Canada, who threw a great block on that play.
Garrett and Mueller wide to the left. That's the wide side of the field on 1st and 10. Now all the Tigers look to the sideline. Co-captain is tonight, Wyatt Smock is 1. He is at the left guard spot, and he will pull and give a block to Allgaier. Cuts inside at the 45. Got about 3 down to the 42. That's that man, Kyron Anderson, again. And you brought up a great point, Tony. 118 tackles he was in on this season. That's a bunch. That's about 10 a game.
And, John, that last time the Bears had everybody within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. I don't mean 7. I mean 11 guys within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Now they do have a deep safety.
2nd down and 7. Mueller widest to the left. Garrett is that way as well. Will Crum is wide to the right. That's the short side of the field.
Watch Will Crum here.
Same personnel. Albers takes a snap. Play action. Wants to throw. Looks for Crum. Throws to Crum. He's got it. Nice catch from Will Crum. A little overthrown, but he went up high and got it. Just a little fake in. Cut back out. Catches it at the 25. Goes out of bounds at the 23. Pickup of 19 and a first down for the Tigers.
And if he runs a post pattern on that one, he's running down the field for a touchdown. But a great pass, great catch by Will Crum.
Allgaier the deep back. Garrett in motion from left to right. They fake it to him. Give it to Dom up the middle. Has a big hole. It closed quickly. And Kyron Anderson hauls him down, but not until he gets down to the 18-yard line. A gain of 5. Tigers in the green zone for the first time. Brought to you by the Eye Care Institute and Dr. Brennan Green.
6, Canada, Smock, Ferris, Curley, the guys that have been there all year long to mount this attack the Tigers do.
Crum and Mueller wide left on 2nd and 5. Garrett in motion from right to left. They give it to him on the jet sweep, running left, can't get outside, and he is cut down at the 21-yard line. Loss of 3. Chased down by Emir Leonard, the defensive back who came up, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long for the Tigers.
Well, you have to hand it off, but it's got to be a better read just to keep the defense honest throughout the game. I'm not saying they should have done it on that play because that was the wrong read, but you have to hand it off some too to keep those linebackers from chasing, and next time they do it, they're going to blow a big hole up the middle.
First negative yardage play for the Tigers. It's 3rd and 8 to Butler 21. In motion this time is Allgaier. Wanting to throw is Jack. Throws and overshot his intended receiver. There were 2 guys in the area.
Cameron Garrett.
Garrett was the closest. Mueller was over there as well. Now you're at the 21. It'd be a 38-yard field goal. And against the wind here, Tony. It looks like the Tigers will go.
And Garrett was open. Albers just overshot him, and now they've decided to bring on Alan Matisha.
Actually, Kyle Nally is heading out there.
Okay. Now he's the long kicker.
The long field goal kicker. 9:43 left here in the first quarter. Tigers are going to try to get on the board first. The left-footed Nally with a 38-yard attempt from the left hash mark.
And a tough spot for Kyle Nally, who has not been kicking hardly any field goals this year.
Jude Carlin will hold it. Plenty of leg on it. And it is good. 3-0 Tigers, 9:38 to go first quarter. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Nally's kick high and deep, and Tay Crooms fumbles it at the 1, and it goes back into the end zone, so that'll be a touchback. Impressive opening drive for the Tigers, Jimmy, and they get the long field goal from Kyle Nally.
Yeah, a couple things I saw. Number one is they've seen the scouting reports on the Tigers, and when we snapped the ball at the 23, there was not a defender deeper than their own 20-yard line. So they were just 3 yards off the ball. But, Tigers moved it down. Hey, that's a big weapon, having Kyle Nally there, being able to do that. That really could have hurt us against PRP last week.
1st and 10 Bears at their own 20. Burks under center, the sophomore. He'll hand it to Eric Jackson, and he is hit and dropped in the backfield. First man there was Nolan Bruner. Got some help from Connor O'Day, but there was a plethora of Tigers, including a co-captain tonight, Ben Shugart.
And, boy, that's what you don't want to see on your first play of the game if you're Coach Gary Wheeler of the Butler Bears. Tigers get penetration from everybody, and they lose 2 yards. So see what the Bears do. The Bears, you have to expect them to throw the ball. Burks is a guy that's put it up a lot of times this year.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 to the left, empty backfield. Now Crooms in motion, Tay from right to left. They hand it to him on the jet sweep. Cuts inside, has some room across the 20. Boy, it shuts down quickly, though. He got to the 23. We'll give him 5 yards, but it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Bears. And another gang tackle for the Tigers. Connor O'Day up off the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, John O'Day did a nice job of getting off the block on the outside, and what that did is that helped the rest of the Tigers get there to help out. A play that looked like could have been a nice-looking play for the Bears, but now on their first possession, it's 3rd and 7 from their own 23. 8:30 left here in the first quarter. Tigers lead 3-0.
Crooms goes wide to the right. That's the short side. Bentley to the left. 2 receivers stacked in the slot to the left. Now they line up in an I with Jackson on the back of it. Wanting to throw. Rolling to the right. Tucks it under and runs out of bounds where he is pulled down. Good pursuit by the Tigers. Andrew Ewells, Patrick Owen, leading tackler for the leading 2 tacklers for the Tigers, combine on the tackle.
And an interesting call, John. They only had really one guy in the pattern down the field, and Burks rolls out
quickly.
Yeah, it was like we're not going to throw it there, but it didn't look like a run, so not a good play on 3rd down by the Bears.
Loss of 1. It's 4th and 8, and Bentley will stay in to kick it away with the wind at his back. And it's a low screamer that takes 2 hops and is picked up by Ginter at the 42. Gets a block at the 45 across midfield near the Tigers sideline. He steps out of bounds at the 44, maybe the 43-yard line. Good return from Will Ginter. Bears lucky that kick didn't hit one of their linemen in the back of the head.
Yeah, that was one of them stingers if you're playing golf. Staying low.
The Al Hardesty stinger.
And it got the roll, and it bounced. But a good job by Ginter staying there with it and getting it on a good hop. Now Tigers great field possession at the Butler 43-yard line.
1st and 10, Albers in the shotgun. He's got Dominic back there with him. In motion is Varga from left to right. They'll give it to Allgaier up the middle. Ran into Canada and tried to jump over him. Got about a yard to the 42. It'll be 2nd and long.
Well, he didn't follow Varga. Varga went over on the right side a little farther, and when Allgaier got the ball, he kind of went to the left side where he lost his lead blocker. So Tigers get very little on 1st down.
2nd and 9. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Albers in the shotgun with Allgaier. Fakes the pitch to Allgaier. Wants to throw over the middle. Has a man. It's caught inside the 30. Brought down by Greg Jackson. It is Ben Mueller, the senior, with a nice catch, and he gets to the 27-yard line. Gain of 15 and a 1st down for the Tigers.
Well, good play action by the Tigers. They faked the pitch, and they got man coverage everywhere. So good pass. Albers a little wobbly, but he put it on the money.
2 to the left, 1 to the right on 1st and 10. Here comes Garrett in motion. They give it to Allgaier, running right. He's got a hole of 25, 20, 15. And last man there, Greg Jackson, hauls him down at the 10-yard line. 17 more yards for Dominic Allgaier. And a 1st and goal for the Tigers in the green zone, brought to you by the Eye Care Institute.
Well, Jackson, a sophomore, has saved 2 touchdowns here early in the game by making the tackle downfield. So a great open field tackle, but the Tigers would take it. And 1st and 10 at the Butler 10-yard line. Tigers lead 3-0 here. 2nd drive for the Tigers.
That time they brought Garrett in motion, had him go behind the quarterback, so just another wrinkle. Varga in motion to the left. Allgaier, kept by Albers to the 5, dives forward, and is cut down. Greg Jackson got a piece of him, and Amir Leonard finished him off at about the 2-yard line. It's a gain of 8 on first down for Albers.
And a great read by Jack Albers. He did not put the ball in there. They let the defensive end come clear. And when Albers tucked it, he did not do that last week. And we were kind of worried about him. But tonight, tucks it and goes. He's already carried it twice tonight.
Second down and goal at the 2. Allgaier looks a little confused. Jack will talk to him. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. In motion comes Garrett. Fake it to him. Albers up the middle. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Jack Albers from 2 yards out.
Basically untouched. He fakes the handoff to Garrett coming through. They make it look like they're running a sweep. Albers goes straight up, gets a great block by his guys up front. Trenton Zoller with a great block. And Wyatt Smock and the guys up front doing a great job. So 6:07 left here in the first quarter. Tigers take a 9-0 lead with Alan Matija out to attempt the extra point.
Carlin will hold it. Morrow will snap it. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and through. It's 10-0 Tigers. 6:07 to go here in the first quarter. They looked a little angry on that drive that they didn't score the first time.
They did, John. And what I liked is they used the motion a lot. That just makes those linebackers, we talk about it every week, freeze a little. That gives you an opportunity to get the block to them. And like Jimmy said, they've got guys that are 3 and 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. And if you get a helmet on them or a shoulder pad, it gives you an opening. And Dominic Allgaier took it all the way down. Jack Albers, Tigers lead 10-0.
Central with an early lead down at the Hive on Belfry. Luke Bowman touchdown fumble return. And I believe it's 6-0 Jackets down there.
Colts took a 3-0 lead.
Actually 14-0, me, after the Luke Bowman fumble recovery over the number 1 Belfry team.
And DeSales with 5:20 left in the first quarter goes up on Cal 3-0 on a 30-yard field goal.
Nally will kick it away. We'll check with Jim Brinkman after this kickoff. It is high. It is deep. Tay Crooms will back up and take it in the end zone. It's a touchback. Jim Brinkman, offensive line certainly gave Dominic Allgaier and Jack Albers room to run on that drive.
On the 2 plays before the touchdown, I did say Clayton Six just basically pancaked, his guy, just pummeled him with there. And the thing about consistency about this Tiger offensive line is it's been really the same 5 guys. Now they go too deep and they've substituted a lot during the games, but those 5 are healthy and ready to play.
Burks takes the snap on first down, gives it to Jackson, running right, and he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Andrew Yules wasn't in school, under the weather yesterday, but promised his teammates and his coaches he'd be in school today. And he was in school and made that tackle. Got a little help on the play from Ryan Dobson. Good to see him back in there this week, Tony. Had the knee dislocation against Trinity. He is back for the first time, practice this week. In on the tackle as well, no gain. They give Eric Jackson the 20, and it's 2nd and 10. Bentley goes wide to the right. They may be a man short. I think they are. They had no receiver to the left, so Coach Gary Wheeler, in his 5th season at Butler, has to use the timeout.
Yeah, John, and Butler.
And that's not what you need.
No, and you wanted to come out if you're Coach Wheeler and the Butler Bears and come out. They've been on the roll, beating good teams. You have to get some points early. First possession was not a good possession. Tigers already have 10 points with 5:29 left in the first quarter. And Butler has to move the football. If they keep giving it back to St. X after 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 plays, it's going to be a long night for the Bears. Tigers did beat them 37-0 the first time, but a much better Butler team with a running back that did not play. But right now, the St. X defense up front doing an awesome job of getting penetration and not letting Butler run the football. But you got to look for a little bit of maybe short pass right here, trying to get it out quick. If you're Butler, they're ready to go.
Beechwood leading KCD 7-0. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Bears. 1 receiver each way. Man in motion to the right. Puts 2 on that side. Straight drop for Burks. Throws over the middle. He's got a man. It's caught by Bentley. Fights his way for the first down. Brought down from behind. Evan Walker in on the tackle. Patrick Holmes there as well, but Bentley gets to the 31, a gain of 11 and a first down.
And I think that's what Butler has to do. You have to get it out fairly quick so the pressure doesn't get to you. Take 7, 8 yards on a play, you'll take it, or 10 yards, and that's what they do. They bring the receiver across the middle. Burks on the money.
Tigers lead it here 10-0, nearing the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. 3 to the right, Tay Crooms to the left. Quick throw to Bentley and out of his reach. Just airmailed by Burks, and actually Evan Walker and Harrison Pate were both right there. So Bentley even if he catches it, not going to get much.
I think Bentley was glad it was a bad pass because he was going to get lit up. It was the short side of the field, just one step and throw it out, and the Tigers had it well played there.
2nd and 10. Clock stops on the incompletion. 4:59 left in the quarter. Crooms to the right. That's the short side. Bentley comes wide to the left. Michael Deneen in the slot now in motion from right to left. Burks wants to throw, looking for Bentley. Ball is tipped, but it got through, and Deneen actually made the catch at the 35. Fights his way up to about the 39-yard line. Sam Borman comes up and makes a tackle. It's a gain of 8, and will bring up a 3rd and 2.
Well, Evan Walker came from the right side, and, boy, got a hand up and almost got a piece of that. And then Netherton was out there, too, on the play.
I thought he did, but the replay showed he did not get a piece of it, so my bad.
No, and he got pushed as he jumped up in the air, and, boy, he was close to getting some of it. But Butler gets the ball out to the 39-yard line. A huge play if you're a Butler Bear fan, 3rd and 2 from the Butler 39.
And give credit to Jake Netherton on that tackle. I gave it to Borman, but it was Netherton. 3rd down 2. Straight drop for Burks. Wants to throw. Does throw. Has a man caught near midfield. Tackled across the 50 is Frank Caldwell to the 49-yard line. A gain of 12 and a 1st down for the Bears in St. X territory.
Well, they put a receiver in motion, and the Tigers really didn't shift out. So they overloaded the Tiger zone, ran guys down about 5 or 6 yards, came back, got the 1st down at the Tiger 49-yard line.
Burks under center this time. Jackson the lone setback. Quick throw to the left to Bentley. He's got some room across the 45 and near the 1st down marker at the 39-yard line. Before he's tackled, O'Day and Netherton combined. They'll spot it at the 40, so it's a gain of 9, 2nd and short.
Senex has got to get those outside, and that's what I would do. I would go to Evan Walker's side, get the ball out quick because he's usually rushing. Tigers don't have enough personnel, and if I'm Coach Wheeler and the Bears, till the Tigers adjust defensively, I'm going to keep throwing it out there quickly.
And we've seen the Tigers give this up in games before, and then they've adjusted and stopped it. But I know that right now they just don't want to get beat deep by this core of receivers. Hand off to Jackson, running right, 1st down, not much more. And actually now he fights his way down near the 35-yard line. Good hard running from Eric Jackson.
Connor O'Day was the first one there.
Cameron Sams, the junior, in on it as well. They'll spot it at the 36. It's a gain of 4 and a 1st down for the Bears.
Bears building some confidence here on this drive. Tigers had an opportunity to stop them on 3rd down, but Butler's moved the football again and all the way down to the Tiger 36. Tigers lead 10-0, just under 3 minutes left in the 1st quarter.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. Hand off Jackson, running right, has some room across the 30. Shugart got a hand on him, chasing him down, and helped haul him down. Help from O'Day, but not until he got to the 28-yard line. 8 more yards for the Bears.
Well, you don't want your nose tackle making a tackle all the way downfield. That's not a good thing for the defense. And now Butler trying to put themselves, build some confidence here in the 1st quarter and keeps moving the football down to the Tiger 28.
2nd down and 2. Bentley to the right. That's the short side. Crooms to the left. Deneen will set up in the H-back spot with Eric Jackson behind him. Wanting to throw his Burks. Now he pulls it down, runs to the right. He is going to get the 1st down and be stopped right at the 25-yard line. Ball came out late. Tigers had a shot at a sack there, Tony, and give Chaz Burks credit. Got away and got the 1st down to the 24-yard line.
John, 2 guys hit him at the 30-yard line and couldn't bring him down. He's not a big guy, and he just makes himself get down the field and get that 1st down. So Tigers defense bending a little bit now. Now they need to firm up with 1:50 left in the 1st quarter. 10-0 Tigers.
Impressive drive started at their own 20 here for the Bears. Bentley and Crooms come wide to the left. I formation in the backfield, and they'll hand it to Jackson, and he is hit by Ewells right away at the 19, fought forward for a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Shugart in there to help Ewells out, but Ewells definitely the first guy there. Bears try to go straight at the Tigers that time and get about a yard, so you expect the short passing game to come out right now. So Tigers have to prepare themselves for the H-back coming out or the guys running into the zone, the short zone on the outside where the Tigers play the safety deep. If I was the Tigers this time, John, when they set up, I'd bring Borman up and roll the safety back, but we'll see what the Tigers do.
2 to the left, 1 goes to the right. That's Morgan Green on 2nd and 9. Pistol formation with Jackson in the backfield. Burks wants to throw. Looks left. Now looks over the middle. Now being chased and being dropped. Good coverage by the Tigers. That allowed Bruner, Shugart, and Ewells to get back there and pressure Burks, and they brought him down at the 20, we'll call it the 28-yard line. A loss of 10 on the play.
But you're right, John. They were in good coverage there. Burks tucked it, and Nolan Bruner made a great play. He ran him down and went low. He had Ewells coming for help and some other guys, but give Nolan Bruner that play right there. A great play by Nolan Bruner.
DeSales leads Christian Academy 3-0 after a quarter. We'll keep you updated from that big 2A game. Some great games in town tonight. Third down and long. Burks wants to throw. Straight drop. Pressure comes. Throws. Has a man at the 10. It's caught and pushed back short of the first down is Tay Crooms. Jude Carlin. Harrison Pate was the first man there to bring him down. And, boy, if Crooms dives forward, he's got the first down. He actually went backwards to try to make a play, and it cost him. It'll be fourth down. First quarter comes to an end. Fourth down when we come back. 10-0 Tigers. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
In my house, watching the game is a big deal. But when it's not on, getting high-quality party rentals for the next backyard barbecue or get-together is an even bigger deal. That's why I call Rent and Rave for any event ranging from 10 people to 10,000. They offer residential and commercial grills along with linens, dishes, tables, chairs, tents, lighting, heaters, and fans to expand the party outside in any season. With over 20 years of experience, call 502-245-9966 or visit rentandrave.com.
When you're not cheering on your favorite team and you're ready to tackle that large job or weekend project, Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered. And with more than 500...
You're listening to the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Coverage of St. X High School football on Talk Radio 1080 WKJK Louisville and iHeart Radio Station.
All the way down, and it's going to be a face mask against the Tigers as well. 3 flags on the field. Jim Brinkman, you were down there. What happened?
Well, first of all, in the third, fourth, and fifth round, we're going to have 7 officials now, so there's going to see a lot more flags. Just expect it. So that was a first down play, by the way.
Ah, first down. First and goal at the 10. Okay.
Right. So he forward progress was inside the 1. He's going to get half the distance to the goal, which probably put it inside the 1, I believe, unless there's another flag.
Well, there were 3 of them out there.
Right.
Now the official's going over to talk to Coach Wheeler.
It's a touchdown, I think, is what they're saying. And Jackson got into the end zone for the touchdown.
Jimmy, did he get in the end zone? You were standing down there.
Yeah, the trail official, the linesman, actually came inside and marked it inside the 1. And that's, oh, well.
Too many officials. That can happen, Tony.
Well, it's a touchdown for the Butler Bears. And 11:51 left first half. First play of the second quarter, Butler gets a touchdown, and now they're setting up for the extra point.
It is Frank Caldwell, and if he kicks it as low as he did the kickoff, it has no chance. First play of the second quarter, the Bears are on the board to cut the lead to 4. High snap. Caldwell brings it down, and it's blocked in the middle of the line there. 10-6. Tigers with the lead. 11:51 to go in the first half. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Terry Miners here, St. X class of 75. Go Tigers! You know who else loves the Tigers? Don F. Hinkabine Company. Chris, Alex, lots of the Hinkabines have been working for like 80 years taking care of people's HVAC systems. Let them come and just do regular maintenance on your HVAC system so that your heater's ready to crank this winter. Let's go Tigers, heat them up on the field, and let's go DFH. Call them at 968-6222. And they're online at dfhcompany.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the St. X Tigers on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. on 790 a.m. These broadcasts are just an example of the vast marketing communication services we offer at the Bissig Impact Group. Give us a call at 583-0333 or visit Bissig.com. The Bissig Impact Group, innovative, integrated marketing.
Kind of straighten everything out. It was a face mask that will be assessed on the kickoff. So Butler will kick from the St. X 45. It's going to be an offside. They tried the onside kick, but everybody got across the line of scrimmage there where the ball was before Frank Caldwell put his toe into it.
And you know my philosophy, that's what I would do right there. Kick an onside kick. If the Tigers fall on it, 35-yard line or so, they would get the ball. So a good try by the Bears, but a very bad execution. So now Caldwell will go back to midfield, right in the middle of the X, in the middle of the field, and kick it off. So expect him now to either pooch it or kick it through the end zone. Having trouble teeing it up, though.
We'll spot it, as Tony said, right on the big X at the 50-yard line. 10-6 Tigers after the missed extra point by the Bears. And this time Caldwell does hit a screamer down the middle, picked up at about the 5-yard line by Garrett, and he is walloped as he crosses the 20. That's Robinson again. He seems to make, or Anderson, excuse me, Kyron Anderson seems to make every tackle for this Bear team, and he put a lick on Cameron Garrett that time.
Well, Cameron Garrett's going to go, when he gets with the special teams again, he goes, do me a favor, somebody block number 2.
Yeah, find number 2.
I don't care who else you block, but block 2.
So 1st and 10 Tigers. They've scored on both drives of the first quarter, a field goal and a touchdown. And now the shock troops are in. Johnston and Coleman go to the right. Crum to the left. Man in motion, keeping it is Albers, running left, has a lot of room. Cuts outside at the 35 to the 50, and he's off to the races, being chased by Greg Jackson, who just saved his third touchdown of the night at about the 20-yard line. Great block over here on this side, Tony, from Will Crum.
And Jack Varga threw a great block, too. That was a set play. They were not going to run that up the middle, down the field, but Varga threw the block on the curve. He cut his guy in. You could tell it was a set play, the way Varga blocked it. And Albers, here the Tigers go.
1st and 10 at the 21. Here's Allgaier up the middle. Spins out of a tackle to the 19. Tripped up. Desmond Miller kind of knocked him off stride, and he's hauled down at the 19. It's a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8. Tigers back in the green zone.
Had some people ask me to keep him up on the Trinity score. Trinity leads 14-0 over on Shelbyville Road against Salmon Kenton late in the second quarter.
Ginter is the halfback now. Allgaier slotted to the left with Crum. Mueller and Garrett wide to the right on 2nd and 8. Jack, option left, pitches to Ginter early. And he is hit at the 20 and pushed out of bounds. So a loss of about a half-yard that time. Miller knocked him out of bounds. And a late flag over there. It's in the area of holding. But we'll see what the call is here.
A few of the Bears clapping, but really they went to the short side, and you got to give Will Ginter some room. You can't put Will Ginter on the short side with his speed and quickness. You got to give him some space, and you want space, and Butler's going to take the penalty, John. I think you're right there.
I'm a little surprised. They decline it. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Okay.
I would have been
That's
surprised.
what I thought, too.
3rd and 8 coming up at the 19-yard line for the Tigers. And they'll bring Zoller back in at the H-back spot. Garrett and Mueller to the right, Crum to the left. Allgaier will set up to the left of Jack Albers. Jack wants to throw, looking for the wheel route, has a man down there. It's Allgaier. Did he catch it? He did. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Dominic Allgaier from Albers from 19 yards.
Yeah, John, you called it perfectly. Love the wheel route. They bring Allgaier out. He's got man coverage and probably got interfered with by Desmond Miller. but a great catch in the corner of the end zone by Dominic Allgar from Jack Albers, and the Tigers answer the Butler touchdown, and now they lead with 10:46 left in the second period, 16-6 with Alan Matija on to attempt the extra point.
Former receiver Dominic Allgaier coming out of the backfield this time. Carlin hold it. Matija kicks it. It's through. It is 17-6 Tigers. 10:46 to go first half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all your vision needs. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com or call 589-1500. That's 589-1500.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape? Knights Travel can meet all your travel needs. Knights Travel is Louisville's premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacation. For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750 or Kaylin Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by Nights. It's the best way to travel.
Touchback on Kyle Nally's kickoff. 17-6 Tigers lead. And Jim Brinkman, that drive set up by the Jack Albers run.
Yeah, that really is a nice response to the long drive that Butler put together. Guys, our wide receivers seem to have a little bit of hands, on that blocking. So those were valid flags, that they called. I kind of disagree. I think I would have accepted the penalty to try to push it almost out of field goal range. But regardless, the Tigers get 7 and go up 17-6.
And 1st and 10, Butler. They'll start at their own 20. Rolling right is Burks, has a man. It's Bentley, caught at the 25, tried to spin back inside. Actually, I think he stepped out of bounds. There is a flag down at the 22-yard line. James Shepard, backup linebacker now, former defensive back, made the tackle. It's going to be
looking at the Bears.
Could be offensive interference here. It's an ineligible man downfield. There you go. So somebody must not have been covered up that went down the field. That'll cost the Bears 5 yards. Back to the 15. It'll be 1st and 15.
And you see what Butler wants to do now, what's being more effective. They're running the defensive backs down the field and then breaking their routes off and coming straight back to the football. It's been effective, but a penalty. And 5-yard penalties don't seem that bad, but when you get one on first down from your own 20, it really changes your play calling and puts you in a big hole. So we'll see if the Tigers can keep the Bears down there and get the ball back.
3 receivers to the left. Bentley's the widest. Hand off to Jackson. Eric Jackson trying to run to the left. Tigers string it out well. He'll get maybe a yard. Jake Netherton came up from his corner spot.
James Shepard there.
Shepard, yeah, exactly. I was waiting to see who came up off the bottom of that pile. It was James Shepard from the opposite linebacker spot. Chased him down.
Well, I got an advantage. I watched the monitor after the play, and it really helps.
You're cheating.
I'm cheating, but it's a good cheat. I watched the game, but I can go to it and pick up numbers on tackles.
And we got to thank Tim Brown and these live sportscaster
McCarthy
guys.
And those guys are great.
Hooking us up with this monitor. We were spoiled, and last week we found out we missed it. 2nd down and 14. Jet sweep. Cutting back inside is Crooms, and Shugart just grabbed him by the jersey and wouldn't let him go. Not much there for Tay Crooms. He got back to the 16. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Well, the guy that made that play was number 96 again, Andrew Yules, who got up the field and made him step inside. And as he steps inside, Shugart puts that big paw out and just pulls him down. So now the Bears have 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 from their own 17-yard line. Almost 9 minutes left in the first half. Tigers lead 17-6.
Two to the right, 1 to the left on 3rd and long. Man in motion is Green from right to left. Jackson in the backfield, wanting to throw is Burks. Pressure comes, throws over the middle, has a man, and brought down short of the 1st down. Good open field tackle by, I believe it's Jude Carlin, up off and now limping toward the sideline is Jude Carlin Frank Caldwell made the catch, and now he'll go back in punt formation.
Yeah, Carlin was the man who came from his safety spot. They ran some guys deep, ran the receiver across the middle, and the Tigers keep them about 3 yards short, be 4th and 3rd, and the Butler punting team is out on the field.
And a flag down. The Tigers may not have gotten everybody off the field there.
I don't know if Butler was set either, John. We're going to see.
He's pointing to the St. X sideline.
It's going to give him a free first down, and
Yeah.
you can't
You know
do
what?
that.
You got to call timeout if that's what's happening. Actually,
No, it is on Butler.
illegal formation or a false start's got to be there against the Bears. And they did try to get that punt off quickly as the Tigers. I thought the Tigers all got off, but when I saw the flag come from this side of the field, I thought, oh, one guy must have still had his foot on the ground.
And give Butler credit for trying to go quickly and get the penalty on the Tigers.
Ginter stands back at his 42, which is, I think, way too deep. Caldwell boots it out. Well, maybe it's not way too deep because he'll call a fair catch all the way back at the 37. Great kick from Frank Bentley, who we weren't expecting from the first few we saw.
Well, the head fake on the first one, the line drive that rolled down the field, I think got him a little off right there. But nice job by Ginter going back and catching the football. So 8:12 left here in the first half. Tigers up 11 on the Bears from Butler High School, with Jack Albers bringing the Tigers back out on the field.
3-0 still to Sales as they failed to score inside the 10-yard line.
Trinity was leading 21-0 in the first quarter. They gave us bad info that pitch out to the left.
And this is Ginter running to the left, and then again to the wide side of the field there. And Will Ginter, the lacrosse player, you get him out there on the wide side of the field, he can make some things happen. He gets about 9 to the 46. So he gets the fair catch, and then they say, well, since you didn't get to run that one back, we'll give you the ball. 2nd and 1. Tigers going quickly here. In motion is Garrett from left to right. Now the Tigers will reset. Beechwood has taken a 14-0 lead over KCD.
And John, I want to say one thing. You got a little back there. Let's see what they do. Albers might keep this.
Here comes Garrett in motion again. They fake it to him, give it to Ginter, running left, cuts inside. 1st down and more across midfield. Hauled down near the 45 of Butler. They'll give him the 46-yard line.
Emir Leonard.
Leonard with another tackle. Leonard and Anderson keep making a bunch of tackles, and Jackson just saves touchdown.
He does. And Will Ginter, a little guy, 5'7", if he's that big. He gets in there with those big uglies, as you like to call them, and you can't find him. And then he bounces it out and takes off in a great gain all the way down to the Butler 46.
9 yards on 1st down and 8 yards on 2nd down, and it's a 1st down for the Tigers. Will still in there with Varga, the H-back. Here's Ginter running right. Cuts inside at the 45. Good open field tackle that time. At about the 44, a gain of a couple for Will Ginter. It'll be 2nd and long. 17-6, Tigers lead it. Under 7 minutes to play here in the first half at Brother Thomas More Stadium. Round 3, regional championship quarterfinal action in the 6A Kentucky playoffs. Will Crum to the right. Mueller and Garrett to the left on 2nd and 8. Ginter giving Allgaier this series off. Jack wants to throw. It's a bubble screen to Will across the middle, and he is hammered, and that's that man again, Kyron Anderson. Back of the 46, a loss of a couple. And that's really just one guy to beat, but that's a guy you're not going to beat.
Well, the Tigers set it up great. Actually, the Butler defensive line ran by him. And when you're the Tigers, I'm not going to throw the Tiger offensive lineman under the bus, but one of them was clapping and hitting his head. He goes, and he knows if he gets a body on Anderson, there's a lot of room to run. But Kyron Anderson, he's a player.
Yes, he is. 3rd and 10. I don't know what the stoppage is here. It's a dead ball. Personal foul against the Bears. Never saw the flag. Jim Brinkman, what's going on down there?
Yeah, the back judge actually saw something.
I see it now down at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it's way down there, and he actually had to get the attention of the referee and stop the play. And hey, look, I got a flag.
Wow! So 3rd and 10 turns into a 1st down for the Tigers, all the way down at the Bear 31-yard line.
And Clayton Six says, "Yay!"
So now you'll throw him under.
No, I didn't say he didn't make the play.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. 6:15 to go here in the first half. Crum wide to the right.
Might take a shot here, John.
Mueller and Albers to the left. Wildcat formation for Agar. He pitches it to Albers. He was going to throw it deep, but a whistle and a flag. And we'll see. It's a false start against the Tigers. Well, it's a different cadence when you put somebody else back there, Tony, and one of the Tigers must have got a jump.
Well, what I don't understand is if you're going to go the Wildcat, you run a play or two.
Yes.
Then
let Dominic run it a couple
times.
You
let him run it a few times. Then you pitch it to Jack Albers. You're not going to fool anybody when the quarterback goes in the slot and you bring him around and you're going to throw it. Jackson was deep. He never moved in the defensive backfield, so they weren't going to fool him.
1st and 15 now, and we're back to Albers at quarterback, and he wants to throw. Throws to the left, has a man. It is caught. That's the fullback, Varga, down to the 30-yard line. A gain of 6 to bring up 2nd and 9. Just you got to reward those H-backs, Trenton Zoller and Varga, Jake Varga, once in a while. And get them the football, right?
Yeah, Jack Varga's a really good receiver. And who made the tackle right there? K-Ron Anderson.
I'm going to guess Anderson.
For his 72nd tackle in the first half. So 5 minutes and 31 seconds left. First half.
35 plays.
I know, it's amazing. Tigers lead 17-6. 5:31 left in the first half. Tigers have the ball at the Butler. We got another penalty, John?
You don't need to be in any hurry. It is another penalty against
and Jimmy's
the
right.
Bears.
7 officials, and we're seeing flags come in.
They
see everything.
Jim, what was that?
The sportsmanlike. So whenever the referee pulls something out, it's just like soccer in Louisville City. You got to write down the number. So number 35 on the white, Graves actually has his first unsportsmanlike.
He got a yellow card?
Having a little conversation with the official right now, and I'm sure it's a what did I do or maybe my bad. I won't do that again.
He's got the captains up there, John. He's talking to both captains, Wyatt Smock.
Wyatt Smock's a captain, and
Kyron Anderson.
Both co-captains tonight.
I think he's telling them both. You go tell your teams, we're done. We're done with any talking, anything happening. Next time
we're going to disqualify somebody. That's what you got to tell them if you want these kids to hear you. But in any event, Tigers are in the green zone again, brought to you by the Eye Care Institute. 1st and 10 at the 16. 5:31 to go in the quarter. In the half, as a matter of fact, it's 17-6 Tigers. Albers in the shotgun. He's got Allgaier with him, and Varga is the H-back to the right. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left.
Block Anderson.
Somebody blocked number 2. Jack wants to throw. Throws a little fade in the corner. It is caught for the touchdown. That is Will Crum. He beat Amir Leonard to the back corner of the end zone. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Will Crum from 16 yards out.
Well, when you get man coverage and you have a 6'4", 6'5" receiver, you get it out there and you get some air under it. And what Crum did right off, he shielded him a little, and then he had him beat a little bit, and the ball drops right in his hands. Tigers lead 23-6. 5:21 left first quarter. Alan Matija getting ready to attempt the extra point.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and good. It is 24-6 Tigers. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
When you're not cheering on your favorite team and you're ready to tackle that large job or weekend project, Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered. And with more than 525 locations, we're sure to have one convenient to you. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or contractor, you can rely on the experts at Sunbelt Rentals. Call 1-800-NO-SWEAT or visit sunbeltrentals.com for a location nearest you. What are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now.
For over 20 years, Signs Now has been Metro Louisville's go-to source for custom signs and banners. Vehicle lettering, trade show displays, lighted signs, you name it. We deliver durable, high-impact graphics and quick, affordable service. Signs Now is the choice for all your signage needs. Want proof? Just ask the Bissig Impact Group. We're their official sign provider. For more information, call 502-491-8180 or visit us online at signsnow.com.
Tigers lead Butler. 5:21 to go in the half, and Kyle Nally boots another one toward the end zone, and it will get into the end zone. Tay Kerms tried to catch it above his head, but was standing on the goal line, so Butler will start at their 20. Will Crum got behind the defender there, Jimmy.
Yeah, and he showed an excellent wide receiver technique. He actually took his offhand, and not to say that he's somewhat like Odell Beckham, but, he was able to take one hand, keep the defender, give him the space that he needed, and then he put the other hand up at the last minute to secure it. Excellent technique.
And Jack Albers put it right on the money as well, his second touchdown pass of the night. 1st and 10 Bears. 2 timeouts left for Butler. They got to get something going here, and Burks wants to throw and looks deep.
It's a hold.
Looking for Caldwell, who's got him at the 50. Beats a couple of men, and he is going to head to the end zone. There's a flag down at the 9-yard line. Frank Caldwell now is limping.
And, John, it's definitely a hold. One of the Tiger defensive linemen got grabbed as they were going after Burks.
Tigers gave up an 80-yard touchdown pass on the first play last week to PRP. They give up an 80-yarder here. Tony Burke says it's coming back. And the officials, I believe, are going to agree. They certainly do. Actually, I said a block in the back. The block in the back was declined because there was a flag down the field as well. So it's a hold.
It was a tackle.
At about the 14-yard line. So that'll move it back to the 7 and make it 1st and 23, I believe.
And a nice play and a great play by Frank Caldwell to get the ball all the way down the field is going to be nullified, and that's a killer if you're the Butler Bears. But, John, it was so obvious. It was, I wasn't guessing. You just couldn't miss it. I think it was Yules or Bruner. I'm not sure. If Yules is, whoever's on the left side was Bruner. Bruner was coming through, and he just got grabbed.
Well, Christian Academy just scored on a 51-yard pass with 12 seconds left in the first half, and they lead the Sales 7-3 at the break now.
Down at the half, Central leads 22-14 now. Belfry picked up a fumble and ran it for a touchdown.
I love the Jackets. They just go for 2 every time. So Burks in the shotgun, 1st and 23 for the Bears. He's got Jackson back there with him, and he'll give it to Eric Jackson, running left across the 10. Fights his way to about the 13-yard line before he's hauled down, a gain of 6. It'll leave 2nd and long, and a whistle.
Got a player hurt for the Bears. Going back on the tackle there, James Shepard and Doug Schaffner.
It is
60.
The co-captains, offensive lineman James Mouser, the senior, and he is down at about the 11-yard line. So we will take a break with 4:56 to go in the half. Tigers lead it by 18. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig on behalf of the Bissig Impact Center. We have room for 2 tenants here at the Bissig Impact Center, right on 4th Street in the heart of downtown Louisville. Call me direct if your medium-sized business is looking for a new place to locate. 583-0333. That's 583-0333. The Bissig Impact Center, home for your business.
Smart holiday shoppers start with Courier Journal's Thanksgiving Early Edition. Stuffed with Black Friday steals and deals and gift ideas for everyone on your list. It's our biggest edition of the year. Pick up the Thanksgiving CJ. Available a day early on Wednesday afternoon at participating retailers in Clark, Floyd, and Jefferson counties. Subscriber papers will be delivered Thanksgiving morning. Remember, smart holiday shoppers start with Courier Journal's Thanksgiving Early Edition.
Helped off the field. He is walking under his own power, the offensive lineman and co-captain for the Butler Bears. 6-yard gain on the play that time for Eric Jackson. 4:56 to go here in the first half. 24-6, St. X leads it. Butler has 2nd down and 16 to go at their own 14-yard line.
And Mouser would be a huge loss for Butler up front. Probably their best offensive lineman, a guy they rely on. So now Butler, after getting the holding call on the long touchdown, now they put themselves in 2nd and 16 from their own 14.
They send 2 receivers to the right. Burks wants to throw. Looking right, now looking over the middle. Now he'll pull it down and try to run, and ran right into the arms of Evan Walker and Ryan Dobson. They combine for the tackle. Officially, it'll be a sack back at the 15-yard line. No, it will not be a sack.
Got a yard on the
gain of a yard, and that'll bring up 3rd and 15.
Good coverage that time by the Tiger defensive backs. They didn't give so much space. When Burks looked for his guys to come back, Tigers were there, and then Evan Walker gets the initial hit, and Ryan Dobson gets a piece of him too. So 3rd and 15 for the Bears. 4 minutes left here in the first half. Tigers lead 24-6.
Bears send 3 receivers to the left. The widest is Bentley. Tate Crooms alone to the right. Looking left, now looking back to the right, and over the middle for Crooms, and it is knocked away. Should have been picked off. It was Desmond Andrews Ogbagu had an interception last week, and he had a shot at that one as well and could not bring it in. Ball a little underthrown because Crooms was behind the defense.
I tell you what, Crooms took off like a shot down that side, and he went past Andrew Zabagu, but Andrew Zabagu stayed with the play and almost, boy, just off his fingertips, the underthrown ball would have been picked.
Caldwell will get in punt formation and kick it away. Boots it out of there. Good kick.
Wow.
Sends Ginter back. It goes over his head, bounces at the 35, takes 2 hops. Will picks it up at the 23. Now cuts up the field and crosses the 30. Great job by Ginter to chase that one down and get it back to the 30-yard line. Abraham Doe made the tackle, but a great kick, 2 in a row from Frank Caldwell.
It was, and Caldwell was the guy that limped after he scored the touchdown that was called back. Great play by Ginter and a better play by Andrew Zabagu, who was going to come back and throw a block and decided it was not a good idea because the only play he was going to block somebody was in the back. So with 3:39 left first half, Tigers take over at their own 33-yard line.
St. X with all 3 timeouts left, so we'll see what they do here. They got the shock squad in now. Johnston and Harkins to the left, Coleman to the right. Coleman in motion from right to left. Fake it to him. Give it to Allgaier. Up the middle. Big hole. Across the 40. Across the 50. He's behind the defense. Being chased down at the 30. And he's not going to outrun the defender. Caught inside the 20-yard line.
Terrence Glass.
And slow to get up here is Allgaier. He'll limp back to the huddle. Of course, the Tigers don't huddle anymore, but he'll limp back to the line of scrimmage. Brought down from behind inside the 20 at the 17-yard line.
Got his ankle rolled, John, right at the end.
And he will limp off now. Will Ginter will replace him, but a 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 17 of Butler, trying to extend this lead with 3:16 to go in the half.
And that time they got away from Jackson down the field, but a great tackle by Glass running Allgaier down, who had to high step a couple guys.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Ginter now in motion to the left out of the backfield, leaves it empty. They'll throw it to him. Will's got it, cuts inside at the 20, 15, and hauled down. That's Greg Jackson again with an open field tackle, but another flag down on the play right near where Ginter made his cut. So you'd think maybe one of the receivers out there
let him play.
Got a little bit of jersey. And, you know, Jim mentioned 7 officials tonight. They're from Northern Kentucky. Normally these games are officiated with 5 guys, so you got 4 more eyes out there.
Yeah,
looking for things to throw flags on.
Well, the one thing, too, is, I mean, their penalties are penalties, and if you hold out there, you should get called for it. So Tigers get backed up. Nice-looking play. They gave Ginter the ball out of the backfield in space and had an opportunity to make a move, but I guess someone held on the outside. So now we're looking just under 3 minutes left in the first half. Tigers lead by 18.
1st and 20, back of the Bears' 27-yard line.
You got man coverage.
Zoller and Ginter in the backfield, a whistle, and a flag comes down. And I think that's going to be a false start against the Tigers again. So Tigers making some uncharacteristic mistakes here late in this first half.
Well, sometimes a quarterback forgets to count. Sometimes the center forgets to count, and sometimes those things happen. But I would go back to the same thing, John. Put Coleman in motion, and you've got man coverage all the way on the outside. I'm not sure who's all on the far right side, but he's got straight man.
It's Zach Johnston far right. Coleman in motion from right to left. Give it to Andre, hitting the backfield, fights off the first tackler, cuts inside at the 30. Good job by Andre Coleman to get 3 yards out of nothing and get back to down to the 29-yard line. Still going to be 2nd and long.
I'd like to see him put Bryson Harkins out on that side and give him man press coverage and just throw one up and go get it.
KCD's on the board. Beechwood leads 14-7 late first half over at Kentucky Country Day.
Trinity, last I saw, 28-0 early second quarter.
Covcath now leads South Oldham 35-0 late in the second quarter. The Covcath team pretty good. In motion, Zoller from right to left. Ginter the tailback. They give it to Will up the middle, and he is hit and dropped. And Albers does a little jump thinking, boy, I should have held on to that one and gotten outside. Kieris Graves, the senior, made the tackle. Gain of about a yard to the 28, 3rd down, and 22 for the Tigers. So you try to get, what do you do here, Tony? Try to get about half of it and get Kyle Nally in for another field goal attempt.
Yeah, you got the win with you. I think you look down the field. I still, you have pretty much man. They got one deep safety. Everybody else is up close.
Albers wants to throw, straight drop.
Got all day.
Has all day. Now he'll pull it down and run up the middle, and he's not going to get much. Crosses the 25 to the 24. You know, you got a clock in your head, and sometimes when you think the clock's run out, it really hasn't because the guys have protected him well. He still had time. He could have stayed in the pocket.
Yeah, I think that ticker went off in his head, and he bailed out just a little early. Great job by the offensive line, but a better job by the Butler defensive back. And Kyle Nally will come on again, and the Tigers might be short a player here. I think they're going to use a timeout. It's going to run it down.
It's going to be a 41-yard field goal attempt for Kyle Nally.
Tigers will use a timeout here in just a second, John.
Will Wolford waiting for the back judge to lift his arm up. There it is. And Tigers will take a timeout. We'll keep it right here. Well, if they do go through with it, and I see no reason they won't, it'll be a 41-yard attempt for the left-footed Kyle Nally. Kicked a 38-yarder in the first quarter to give the Tigers a 3-0 lead.
And the one 38-yarder was into the wind, and this one's with the wind. So should have plenty of leg. Comes down to good snap, good hold, and it put the foot in it. But Tigers, penalties both ways. You put yourself in a good spot down there to maybe put a touchdown on the board, and you get a holding call and then a couple of running plays where you don't get anything. And now a long field goal, but I think Coach Wolford will, either way what happens here, will be happy with at least an 18-point lead, but I know he thinks they could be up more, but Butler could have. They had a touchdown called back too.
And 41.3 seconds left here in the first quarter. Jack Albers with 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run tonight here in this first half. So I think it's safe to say Jack Albers is back. He just didn't look like himself last week.
Yeah, and just showing you when he didn't keep the ball, when he gave it to Will Ginter, shows you that, he's a competitor. And I think last week he was banged up a little more than people thought. I'm getting ready to go here with it.
Jordan Morrow will snap it. Bryson Harkins will hold it for the left-footed Nally. High snap. Harkins got it down. Got plenty of leg. I'm going to hit the right upright about halfway up. Plenty of leg from Kyle Nally, but the field goal is no good. Score remains 24-6 Tigers. 36 seconds left here in the first half. And Butler will take over at their own 20. They've still got 2 timeouts left. You expect them to air it out here? I don't see why not.
I can see them going short, hoping they can make a play and then maybe taking a shot. But, boy, Nally would have kicked that one, John, from about 55 where that thing hit the pole. And he had some steam on it. Unfortunately, that yellow pole got in the way.
Yeah, what's it doing up there? 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left on first down. Burke's in the shotgun, and he does want to throw. Looking to throw to the right, and it is incomplete. Intended for Crooms. And
Andrew Zabagu.
And he had designs on 6 the other way there, Tony.
And that was a dangerous throw. Andrew Zabagu couldn't get turned around, but if he does, that pass is underthrown. He might be running down the sideline with the football. So that might change Gary Wheeler's opinion, but they've got 3 guys spread out.
Central leads Belfry 28-21 late in the first half down at the Hive. 2nd and 10. This time they hand it to Jackson, and he is hit and dropped. Shugard finished him off. First guy to grab hold of him was Connor Schaefer at the 22.
And I think Coach Wheeler, after seeing the first play, John, decided, let's get out of here. But Tigers could use a timeout here if they'd like.
But they will not, and that should bring the first half to an end unless Coach Wheeler wants to quickly run one more play. We're under 5 seconds to go here in the half. Tigers in deep coverage here. They give it to Jackson, and he is tripped up. It's 4th down, but the clock is at 0, and that'll be the end of the first half, 24-6. Tigers lead it. We'll hang around and get the comments from the head coach. And as you said, Tony, got to be pretty pleased with the way his teams come out fairly focused here tonight, I would think.
Yeah, if you're up 18 points, you're happy.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's some things he'd like to clean up and do a little better. But all in all, I talked to Coach Mike Manners before the game, and he said, it doesn't matter what we win by. We just have to win, and that's what I always tell people. W is this time of season, all that matters. Tigers lead 24-6 here at halftime. And Coach Wolford's still down with the Tigers talking to him, and we'll get Jim after he breaks here. But
this is probably a don't look at the scoreboard kind of talk. We want to come out and get some things accomplished here in the second half, I would think. The Bears will get the ball to start the third quarter. But 24-6, Tigers with the lead. And let's head down to Jim Brinkman. Jim?
All right, Coach, 24-6, a lot to be happy about in the first half.
We're playing tough. That's a pretty good football team over there that's coming in riding high. And I told the guys, I said, we played well. I think we can play better. And I hope we do that in the second half. But Can't complain about the school board.
Dominic Allgaier kind of came off with a little ankle problem. You expect Will Ginter to carry the ball 36 times?
No, I haven't heard anything from the trainers yet. Dom looked pretty good coming off of there. We'll see how it goes. But if it's Will, it's Will. Next man up.
Okay. Anything you want to try to do, accomplish in the second half?
I just want to win up front. The big men went up front. We'll be all right.
Okay. All right. We'll kick it back here to John and Tony. 24-6 halftime. Tigers lead.
Eye Care Institute halftime report is next. You're listening to St. X Tiger High School football on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network.
Imagine flipping in the air on the Super Quad Bungee, running across the Big Baller obstacle course, or conquering Brutus, the mechanical bull. Christian family-owned and operated, Louisville Inflatables specializes in school and church functions, festivals, and city fairs, offering inflatables of all shapes and sizes while being clean, safe, insured, and state inspected. Stop imagining and call 502-379-0876 or book online at LouisvilleInflatables.com, where laughter adds to life. Louisville Inflatables.
Planning an event for thousands? At Events LLC, designers are available to provide custom production and creative design services to coordinate your perfect event. Hosting a smaller gathering? Try their rental, installation, and delivery services. Events LLC has everything needed to facilitate your next event. Their 66,000 square foot warehouse is filled with unique props, linens, dance floors, and anything else you can think of. Call 583-5007 or visit eventsllc.com.
There are few things that truly inspire, like seeing young athletes succeed. With this in mind, the Courier-Journal created the Kentuckiana Sports Awards presented by Norton Sports Health. We're honoring Athletes of the Week for Southern Indiana and Metro Louisville all season long, naming all area teams for more than a dozen sports, and capping off the year with a red carpet banquet in June. Vote for this week's Athlete of the Week at the CourierJournal.com sports page.
Kerry Miners here, St. X class of 75. Go Tigers! You know who else loves the Tigers? DFH Heating and Cooling. That's the Don F. Hinkebine Company. Chris, Alex, lots of the Hinkebines have been working for like 80 years taking care of people's HVAC systems. Let them come and just do regular maintenance on your HVAC system so that your heater's ready to crank this winter. Let's go Tigers. Heat them up on the field, and let's go DFH. Call them at 968-6222. And they're online at dfhcompany.com.
This is the Eye Care Institute halftime report on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network. Here's your broadcast team: John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.
6A Kentucky High School playoffs. St. X leads 24-6 over the Butler Bears. Jack Albers with a touchdown run and 2 touchdown passes, one to Will Crum, one to Dominic Allgaier. And we are watching the first half highlights as Kyle Nally's field goal attempt late in the half goes off the right upright from 41 yards out. Tony said it would have been good from 50. I think 55. You're absolutely right. No turnovers in that first half by either team, and Tony has a look at the first half numbers.
Individual stats here. Jack Albers 5 for 8 for 73. Chad Clark 6 for 11 for 52. Will Crump's got 2 catches for 35. Dominic Allgaier, 6 carries for 91 yards. Jack Albert's 5 for 76. And Will Mitchell, 5 for 20. So Tigers doing a nice job on the ground.
You can see, Tony, that while they missed Eric Jackson in that first game, he's a good running back. He scored the only touchdown. He's a hard runner. And again, they lost Mouser. We'll check and see if he's back in the lineup. Offensive lineman, good offensive lineman there in the first half. But Jackson's a hard runner and needs some help from the whole lineup.
Yeah, Jackson's the guy who comes in with 805 yards and 12 touchdowns, averaging probably over 6 yards a carry, and some quick team stats. Both teams getting first downs. Tigers 13, the Bears 12. But total yardage, Tigers have run 27 plays for 261, Bears 27 plays for 88. So both teams have run the same amount of plays, but Tigers have 261 to the Bears 88. So 9.7 average per play by the Tigers, 3.3 for the Bears.
We will take a break, come back with more here on the Eye Care Institute halftime report. 24-6, Tigers with the lead here at the break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody.
What's your first name?
Jody.
Jody now.
Oh, I talked to Sherry the other day and told you to come up here. Yeah, I was worked with your mother-in-law and Sherry both. And I played Little League Baseball with Billy. Now, Billy's a good basketball player. Yep.
Boy, I thought that field goal was good, man.
It would have been good from 55 if it was straight. It was way through there.
It was halfway up the ball.
Well, he would have made that one.
Yeah. It's a good threat to have. I'm glad he's kicking them through the end zone now. He's doing a great job, man. Yeah, put him at the 20.
Hey, St. X fans, want to learn
Yep.
more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year,
Yes, sir.
You're our listener, huh? We knew we had one.
No, 2. Sherry tells me she was.
2, yes, sir.
Central scored again. They're up 34-21 at half. And Cal just scored again. They're up 14-3 at the Sales.
I was hoping the Sales win it all so they could be 15-0 when we play them in the first game next year.
Trinity's up big.
Oh, I better watch what I'm saying. We're on the air.
Oh, that's right. Everybody's been listening. We've been good. We just you
Nice to meet you. That sounds good. Tell
Well, this should be an easy trip.
Bargain Supply has 60,000 square feet of merchandise, so you can find and save on everything you need in one easy stop.
What time is it now?
Electronics,
So
tools,
Cal scored quickly again?
844 East Jefferson in Nulu, downtown Louisville.
Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. 24-6, St. X with the lead over Butler here at halftime. Both teams still back in the locker room. Christian Academy runs, looks like they ran the second half kickoff back for a touchdown. They lead the Sales now 14-3 early in the third quarter. And you had a Central update.
Well, one thing about that scoring, in a 22-second span in the last 2 quarters, Wright has scored the 2 touchdowns that Cal has. Down at the Hive at halftime, Central hits a big one right before halftime, and they go up 34-21 at halftime against Belfry.
Had the over.
Those 2 teams have won. Correct me, John. They've played 6 times 10 times in the 6 times in the state finals. 6
times in the state finals. Central won the first 4 of those, and Belfry's won the last 2, including last season. And this is because of the realignment. The same reason we'll play Trinity in the championship hopefully this year. They are playing in the quarterfinals instead. And Belfry ranked number 1 in the state, Tony, in 3A. And you know, we've said it forever. When you go down into the Hive, it's a different thing. You got to be ready for the Jackets, and the Jackets obviously ready tonight.
Well, it's a Central team that has really, since they played the Tigers, really played well. So they're doing a great job down there. And if you're a Central fan, keep them going.
Somebody alert the press. Trinity just turned the ball over on downs against Simon Kenton, but they still have a big lead as we hit the Twitter machine and try to figure out all these scores. But the only important score right now is 24-6. St. X leading Butler here at the half. We'll come back. Second half action is on the way. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
This has been the Eye Care Institute halftime report. Stand by for live second half action on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
We're talking to Mike Littell, Vice President of Advancement for St. X High School. Mike, I understand the school has some really cool new fields for its athletes. What can you tell us about them?
So the new fields are addressing three issues for us. The first and most prominent today is what's happening with concussions and preparation, and we've added a concussion pad, if you will, underneath the surface, and that provides a good opportunity to be prepared for any type of soft tissue injury, and it's the latest technology being offered with synthetic surface fields today. Secondly, we have a coated pellet, and in the old days you just had ground rubber in your fields, and today we have an acrylic coated pellet that does two things. One, it greatly reduces the temperature of the field on a hot day especially, but it also eliminates some of the chemical that might be in that ground rubber, and that's no longer present when athletes are out there, students are out there using the fields.
For more information about St. X and how it can make your high school students' 4 years great, go to stx.com today.
I'm pretty handy around my house and business, but there's one thing I leave to the pros, electrical work. And when I need it, I call Oldham County Electric. They're licensed contractors that do it all. Rewiring, room additions, lighting design, landscape lighting. They even have standby generators and offer 24-hour emergency service, even if you're not in Oldham County. Trust me, don't mess with electrical work. Contact Oldham County Electric, 502-310-1462 or oldhamcountyelectric.com.
For over 20 years, Signs Now has been Metro Louisville's go-to source for custom signs and banners. Vehicle lettering, trade show displays, lighted signs, you name it. We deliver durable, high-impact graphics and quick, affordable service. Signs Now is the choice for all your signage needs. Want proof? Just ask the Bissig Impact Group. We're their official sign provider. For more information, call 502-491-8180 or visit us online at signsnow.com.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the St. X Tigers and Jefferson County High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. This season's live play-by-play coverage is sponsored by the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green at 589-1500 or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com. Nights travel. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel. Courier Journal. The Courier Journal, now with expanded high school sports coverage, Sundays in print and at courier-journal.com. DFH, call Don, Chris, or Alex Hinkabod at 968-6222 for all heating and cooling needs. St. X High School, learn more at stx.com or call 502-637-4712. St. X High School, this is where you start. Events LLC. Custom designs uniquely tailored to your event. From setup to takedown, we'll make your event extraordinary. Bissig Impact Group. Integrated, innovative marketing. Let's head back to the field for the second half and join John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd
Pulaski Southwest. Back at St. X, halftime. John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers. We've been searching for the score of the game in our bracket and finally got it. Scott County leads Frederick Douglass 21-7 at halftime. Winner of that game will play the winner of this game next week. Hopefully it'll be right here at St. X, and the Tigers will be hosting. Winner of this game will host next week regardless of who it is. So the Butler Bears, a 4 seed, could have ended up hosting and still could end up hosting a state semifinal game.
Yeah, but right now the Tigers lead 24-6, and Butler will get the ball first to start the second half because they deferred in the first half, and Tigers got the ball first. But, you know, John, just thinking, if you're Coach Wheeler, what are you thinking right now? We got to throw the whole book at them. We just got everything we got. We can't be conservative. We got to take shots. They've seen a few times they've been able to get the ball down the field, so why not? You have nothing to lose. You might as well go for it.
Dominic Algar, 91 yards on the ground in that first half, but after a long run, he came up a little gimpy, and Jim Brinkman reporting that he said his whole left leg hurt, and he was jogging slowly, but we'll see if he gets back in there here in the second half.
And the Tiger backfield, John, running backs. If you haven't been with us all year, leading rusher Brett Metzmeyer went out in the first PRP game.
Yep.
Anthony Moretti, who had a huge game that night, way over 100 yards, got hurt last week, hurt his shoulder. Dominic Allgard took the load on, and Allgard's a guy who hasn't played a lot of running back over here at St. X. Has been really good, and he got his ankle rolled when he had the long run on the tackle that saved the touchdown, and now Tigers getting a little thin in that backfield.
And they do expect Anthony Moretti back tonight. He's officially was a game time decision, but Will Wolford told me yesterday he probably would not play tonight. No structural damage in the shoulder, just a sprained joint, and could have gone. Will Wolford told me if they really, really needed him. But again, with Allgar and Ginter, not necessary for him to play tonight, but certainly expect him back next week.
That's good news, and hopefully the Tigers will play well in the second half. They got an 18-point lead here at halftime.
I want to thank Kevin Klein, St. X basketball coach, for joining us in the pregame. Tigers will have a scrimmage Tuesday right here at St. X at the Wills Center, 6 o'clock against South Oldham. So come out and get some early season basketball. You're not going to see the whole Tiger basketball team because there are 5 guys out here still playing football. That's a rarity these days, but Evan Walker decided to come back out, hadn't played since his freshman year. Andre Coleman decided to come out and play some football. Sam Borman playing safety. Jeff Shaver,
Carlin,
backup linebacker, and Carlin, who's now a starting safety as well. So 5 guys that we certainly expect on the roster.
Yeah, and the Bascom's have played. He didn't mention them, but you never know if one of them might play. But it does put the basketball team behind, but that's a good thing in my mind. And I know Coach Klein sometimes wishes that, as the basketball coach, and I know how he feels, that you want those guys out there, but it's good to be well-rounded. These guys will help the basketball team improve overall, maybe not early, but later. And hopefully for the Tigers, they make a state champion, keep making that state championship run.
Second scrimmage will be at home as well. The problem with that one is it's November 25th at 1:30 against defending state champion Bowling Green, which will be right in the middle of that Kentucky-Louisville football game.
That'll hurt your attendance.
That'll hurt your attendance, but it's the second scrimmage, Bowling Green, right here at the Wills Center as well. Tigers open the season on November 30th. That's a Thursday night at 6 o'clock. A varsity game only against the Atherton Rebels on the road. And the home opener is December 5th, a Tuesday night against the Central Yellow Jackets. Head coach Doug Bibby will bring the Jackets over to the Wills Center, and that will be our first radio broadcast of St. X basketball this year. We'll do nearly every home game, and because of the equipment we got now, we'll be able to maybe pick and choose 1 or 2 road games and get them on the air as well. So St. X basketball getting ready to gear up. Season starts on November 30th for St. X as they travel to Atherton. Just about ready to get the second half underway. Butler deferred the coin toss. St. X took the opening kickoff, drove down, and got a field goal to take a 3-0 lead, a lead that has expanded to 10-0. The Bears cut it to 10-6 early in that second quarter, but St. X with 2 more touchdowns, they lead it here 24-6 at the break. Kyle Nally will kick toward the school. St. X will take the wind here to start the second quarter, as Greg Jackson and Tay Crooms go deep for the Bears. We are just about ready to get second half action underway. We'll continue to keep you updated on other scores. Trinity with a 35-0 lead over Simon Kenton late in the first half over on Shelbyville Road. We welcome all the listeners who have been watching or listening to the University of Kentucky basketball game.
Don't give the score.
No, not going to give a score.
People might not be.
Anybody taped it or is taping it, is here watching this game and DVRing it.
Same thing with the Louisville game.
Used to tape it. You don't tape anything anymore. Kickoff is high, and it's going to go out of bounds just outside of the pylon, right at the 1-yard line. So Butler will start at their own 35, 1st and 10. Give me a grade, Tony Burke, on the quarterback, Chaz Burke, so far.
I'd say a solid B, John. He's done a good job. A little bit of pressure when he's got the ball out quickly. He's done a nice job. He's just a sophomore, so we're going to hear that name for a few years. But his job now is to get Central back in this game as they trail by 18 to start the second half.
1st and 10. He'll send Crooms wide to the right. Bentley to the left. Now he's in motion. They'll hand it to Jackson running left. Gets outside. Gets a block from Bentley. and pushed out of bounds after a gain of a couple.
Harrison Pate.
Give him 3 out to the 38-yard line. Evan Walker in the mix over there as well as he chased Eric Jackson down. Gain of 3. Second down and 7. I hope you found your pen over there. You were struggling.
I just stepped on it. So I found it.
It looked like a Three Stooges skit going on in here for a few minutes. And I'm not calling Todd a stooge. I'm just saying. Man in motion from left to right is Green. Wanting to throw is Burks. Throws to the left. He's got a man at the 40, lowering his shoulder. Trying to get the first down, but coming up a little bit short was Frank Caldwell, who limps back to the huddle. He's been limping ever since that 80-yard touchdown was called back. But he did get to the 44, bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Bears.
Patrick Owen in on the tackle from his middle linebacker spot. A little bit of help from Harrison Pate. Now Central. Butler has an opportunity, 3rd and 1 here, to get a first down from the Tiger 44 to start the second half.
Shotgun for Burks. He's got Jackson right next to him. Rolling to the right is Burks. Wants to throw. Has Bentley. He's got it at the 50. And fighting his way to about the 46-yard line. Hanging on was Jude Carlin. But a first down for the Bears in St. X territory at the 46.
Well, Jake Netherton was in the coverage, and what the Bears have done well tonight is just run those DBs back just enough to cut their routes off. Burks has been on the money when he's had an opportunity most of the night. And the Bears get a first down, and they go down to the Tiger 46-yard line.
Gain of 10 on the Burks to Bentley hookup. Now Bentley and Crooms both go wide to the left. Jackson the lone setback. Under center is Burks. Wants to throw to the left. He's got Crooms and went through his hands and out of bounds. Deemed a forward pass, so it'll be 2nd and 10. That one just a little airmailed by Chaz Burks.
Yeah, and Tate Crooms did all he could to try to catch the ball, but it sails out of bounds. And another quick pass. Most of them have been either out quickly or a couple-step drop. Receivers coming back to the ball. Been pretty effective for Butler, but Tigers do lead 24-6 here early in the second half.
2nd down and 10 for the Bears. Bentley, Deneen go to the left. Crooms to the right. Jackson in the backfield. Pistol formation. Now Deneen in motion from right to left and now back to the left. Wanting to throw is Burks. Looking high and deep over the middle. It is incomplete through the hands of Crooms. Carlin made contact on him as soon as he got his hands on the ball. Pate was there as well. It'll be 3rd and long.
A dangerous throw by Chaz Burks, and Crooms almost comes up with the ball.
Carlin kind of separated him from the ball.
He did. He came from his safety spot playing center field, and one of those ones where if you take a little better angle, you might have an opportunity, but good defensive play by the Tigers, and now the Bears put themselves in 3rd and long.
17-3 now. Christian Academy with a field goal. They lead DeSales with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Trinity leads 35-7 at half.
3rd down and 10. Deneen in motion, puts 3 receivers on the left. Wanting to throw is Burks. Pressure comes up the middle. He's in trouble, and he's dropped on the Bear side of midfield. Ball is being run back by Andrew Ewells, but referees, the 7 officials out of here, will have none of it.
But, John.
Schaefer was there. Actually, Skrodsky actually came through.
I was going to say,
Tony.
He came on a delayed blitz, and the Tigers already had good penetration, and when Burke saw him, it just collapsed on him. So they lose 5 yards, so it's going to be 4th and 15. 10 minutes left here in the 3rd, and Butler will have Frank Caldwell standing at his own 35-yard line to kick it away to Will Ginter.
We'll get an injury update from Jim Brinkman after this punt. It is high, and it's going to come up short, bounce at the 20, takes a Tiger bounce. Just kind of dives right at the 20-yard line. One of the Bears getting a little medical attention over there, Jim.
Yeah, after that, I got to defend Tate Crooms here. His quarterback let him out to dry on both of those passes. They were high, exposing that rib area, and he's a little bit sore there, but he turned his ankle on the deep pass too. Hey guys, Dominic Allgaier is listed as okay, but is not scheduled to play in the second half.
So we'll probably see some Miles Harris too.
Yeah, and that's a good move. Wow, you got an 18-point lead, and Will Ginter is very serviceable. In fact,
Albers still got it.
Him, and Albers has it. 20, 25, 30. Left sideline makes a man miss at the 35. Steps out of bounds right there. It's a gain of 15 and a first down for the Tigers. That's something we didn't see a lot of last week.
No, we didn't. And I think that hand after the fumble early in the game, the Albers, which was hurting that finger, he kind of pulled away from it, but he pulls it out of Ginter's stomach. And Cameron Garrett didn't throw a great block, but he did enough downfield to make sure that Albers could get it all the way out to the 35.
First and 10, Jack in the shotgun. This time he will give it to Ginter. Running right, big hole across the 45. Great tackle from behind. I wonder who made that tackle. Kyron Anderson. Thank goodness he's a senior. Don't want to see this guy anymore next year.
And Johnny did a great job of getting off the block by Wyatt Smock, who pulled, and he just fought him off enough, and then he reaches out and gets Will Ginter's leg.
Still a gain of 7 for Ginter. Second down and 3. Ball at the 42. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Now Ginter in motion to the right, empty backfield. Jack, it's a quarterback draw up the middle, now cuts to the right hash mark, gets across the 45, first down to the 46-yard line. Jack smelled the first down spot, got it. The drive will continue.
Greg Jackson on the tackle, but a nice job by Jack. He just took his time, was patient, got behind his offensive line, and then just got to the outside to get the first down out to the Tiger 47-yard line.
2 receivers to the left. Alone to the right is Will Crum on first and 10. Now Ginter in motion to the left. Empty backfield again. This time they fake the short one, throwing high and deep over the middle. Caught by Mueller at the 30. And he is pulled down inside the 20. Both guys say they have the football. But I think Mueller was down. And it's a first down for the Tigers.
He was definitely down.
Yeah, he was definitely down, as our live sportscaster replay shows.
And, John, if Jack Albers would have got a little more zip on that ball, Mueller might have scored. When the fake was great, he faked to the outside, and then Mueller, who's done that a lot this year, going down the middle of the field, Albers on the money. Tigers have it at the 16-yard line of the Bears.
First and 10 in the green zone. In motion is Garrett. Fake it to him. Albers up the middle. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, untouched. Jack Albers from 16 yards out. His second rushing touchdown of the night.
Boy, you know it's a good play when Wyatt Smock pulls from the left guard and he looks around for somebody to block. There's nobody there, and Wyatt Smock follows Jack Albers down to the touchdown. One of the first guys there to celebrate with him as the Tigers go up 30-6 with 8:14 left here in the third.
And Matesian for the extra point. Jude Carlin will hold it. He holds for the right-footed kicker. Harkins holds for the left-footed kicker.
Interesting.
Up and through, it is 31-6 Tigers. 8:14 to go in the quarter. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And Nally with a screamer that takes one hop. Crooms fields it at the 1. Trying to reverse field across the 10. And he is going to be hit and dropped from behind at about the 16-yard line. Give him the 17. Give Crooms credit there, Tony, for getting as much as he could, because it didn't look like there was much there.
Andrew Weiss on the tackle.
Jim Brinkman, it's been a different Jack Albers this week from a week ago.
Yeah, you can just tell on the sideline. He's got a little bounce in the step, and he's definitely, back encouraging his teammates. And, by the way, James Mauser is back playing the second half for the Butler line.
That is good news for the Bears. Co-captain went down with a leg injury late in that first half. Under center is Burks. He pitches it to Jackson, running right, looking for room, crosses the 20. Not much more, falls forward about the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 5. Gang tackled up off the bottom of the pile is Dennis Deemer, along with Shugart, among other Tigers. Houlihan there as well.
Well, a great job, and I always want to give the guys credit on the outside, and I thought it was Netherton, but looking out there, it's Andrew Zabagu. I always talk about keeping that corner, don't let him get outside, and the safety. Corner came up, and it made Jackson cut it up, and that made all the Tigers get there, and Deemer with the tackle.
It was actually Jake Archer from the middle of that linebacker spot. Second down for the Bears. Here's Jackson again running left, has the first down across the 30, still on his feet. As a bunch of Tigers, the ball came out, and it is a fumble, no whistle. And the Tigers may have it. He was still going forward. It's St. X football. Coming out of there is Jake Netherton with the ball. And, boy, that's where
got a bear down, too.
That's where the second and third effort from Jackson actually hurt him because he was in a pile of players, so some of the Tigers are ripping at that football.
Yeah, John, and he did an unbelievable job of keeping his feet. When he didn't go down, he was laying on the Tiger, it looked like. He bounced off, and it always seems to happen when you're fighting for extra yards. That ball comes out because you don't have your balance, and the Tigers will take over at the Butler 34-yard line.
First turnover of the night for either team. The Bear that was down was Jordan Creighton, the offensive and defensive lineman. He got up and was able to get off under his own power.
And if I'm the Tigers here, you know my philosophy after a turnover.
Take a shot.
Play action, take a shot.
Ginter still in there at running back. Garrett wide to the right, 2 to the left. Now here comes Cameron in motion. And they throw the little bubble screen to Cameron Garrett across the 30. Fights his way to about the 25-yard line, short of the first down, but only by about a yard. That's that play they ran to Will Ginter in the first half, and this time a nicely set up, couple good blocks, and Cameron Garrett with a solid 9 yards. There a flag on the play?
A lot of discussions going down with the referees, but a nice job by Garrett, and that time Greg Jackson on the tackle, but no
flag.
Kyron Anderson in there to try to make a play.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, where's he at?
Second and 1. What's wrong with that kid? He didn't make a tackle on that play. Second down and 1 for the Tigers. Zoller's in at H-back. Ginter is in at halfback.
A lot of plays you can run here.
Garrett Mueller to the right, Crum to the left. The Bears put 2 over here on Will Crum. Jack with Zoller in motion from left to right, takes the snap. He'll give it to Ginter up the middle. Big hole across the 20 to the 15. Spins out of a tackle, and he's in. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Will Ginter from 25 yards out.
And the Tigers have pretty much taken over this game here in the second half. 6:35 left, third quarter. Tigers go up 37-6 on a Will Ginter scamper for a touchdown. And the fourth running back that the Tigers have used effectively this year, Will Ginter, goes in again.
And the 2 plays after the turnover, the Tigers on the board quickly. And Matija, the extra point attempt. 6:35 left here in the third quarter. It's good. It is 38-6 in favor of the Tigers. And, Jim, it's nice to see a kid like Will Ginter, even though it's because of injury, to get some carries, and he's showing what he can do.
Well, I'm not sure he's going to get the 36 carries
No.
that Dominic had
I hope
last
not.
week. But it is you got to give a big shout out to the Holy Trinity Eagles for developing him. So anyway, yeah, we've been watching Will Ginter play for many years, and realistically, as a senior, with a loss, it could be his last game, but it doesn't appear to be. If we're happy. If we're able to hold on at a 38-6 lead.
Yeah, I think we're in good shape to be hosting a semifinal next week.
Yeah, guys, I do want to point out, you mentioned about Jordan Creighton going out.
Yeah.
Number 70, Harden, their big right tackle, he was limping, and we know that Mauser went out in the first half too, and now he's back. So Butler's offensive, defensive lines are really beat up. You can see that the Tigers are taking advantage.
And some of these guys, Tony, like with a lot of these schools playing both ways, and they just get wore out. Especially the St. X offensive line will wear some people out. High short kick this time. Crooms comes up and takes it at the 11 on the left hash. Now he's on the right hash as he heads trying to get around the corner, and he's not going to get much further than the 25-yard line. Eric Lyons. Andre Coleman, on the tackle. along with Nathan Pike.
Give everybody credit that deserves it.
And all three of those guys were there to bring down DeMonte Tay Crooms. We only call him that because that's what the official Butler roster wants us to call him, Tay Crooms. First and 10 Bears at their own 26. 6:26 to go here in the third quarter. Now if you're the Tigers, you can just pin your ears back a little. Krebs wants to throw, being chased out of there and hauled down by Evan Walker. And Chaz Burks just pulled it down quickly that time, Tony. I think the pressure's starting to get to him. If his first receiver is not there, he's pulling it down.
Yeah, and pretty good pressure by the Tigers on the play right there. And Burks did what he had to do. He tucked it, took off, got no gain on the play. So you're looking at 2nd and 10 from the Butler 26-yard line. Just under 6 minutes left here in the third. Tigers lead 38-6.
He did get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10, and the Bears huddling. They're in no hurry. I think they can see the writing on the wall here as well. But to get to this point as a 4 seed, pretty good job by the Bears. Burks rolling left, throws left, has Bentley at the 30. He'll get maybe a yard more before he's pushed back by a host of Tigers.
Will Gapin's the first one there.
Yeah, up off the bottom of the pile. Deemer was there to help out as well.
Sams.
Cameron Sams. They call him Money. And he'll be back next year, Cam Sams. It's a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Bears. We welcome the University of Louisville listening audience.
Won't tell you that
Won't
one
tell you
either.
that score either. Bentley and Green come wide to the right, Crooms to the left on 3rd and 5. Burks takes a snap, straight drop, pressure in his face, and down he goes. Shugart made the tackle, but I think it was Sams coming from the outside that forced Burks to step up into the pocket, and the co-captain, Ben Shugart, with the sack, and the Bears will send the punt unit out.
Well, you called it correctly, John. That's exactly what happened. Sams came from the left side. Burks sees him. When he steps up, Shugart right there to make the play.
Central now in control, 40-21 over Belfry down at the Hive, and another Belfry turnover. Punt is away from Caldwell, bounces at the Tiger 45, and it'll be down right there by Frank Bentley. 4:11 to play here, third quarter. 38-6 Tigers, and we can kind of start looking towards next week and a date with, in all likelihood, Scott County.
Yeah, and one thing I want to go back to, these Butler Bears, you got to remember, they were the 4 seed in this district. They traveled, beat a number 1 seed, came back last week, traveled to Old Dirt Campus out on Mail, beat them out there, and now playing, and that was the 2 seed, and now back playing the 1 seed. So,
yeah. So they beat a 1 seed, then they beat a 2 seed, both on the road, and now they're here with another 1 seed. Yeah, it's a nice run for the Bears, but it will end tonight. Keegan Sullivan in a quarterback. The ball is on the ground. He is able to dive on it and recover it. Trying to hand it off to Austin Mayer, the new running back in there for the Tigers. And it looked like either Mayer didn't want it or Keegan tried to pull it out. In any event, it hit the ground, and it's a loss of 3 back to the 42.
and here's a luxury that you don't get a lot of time. Tigers have switched everybody. The offensive line has switched out. We've switched quarterback. Everybody in there is a non-starter.
So Keegan Sullivan, the junior, in at quarterback. He's got Mayer back there with him. Option to the right. He pitches it to Austin. Cuts inside across the 40. Not much there. We'll give him a half yard. And, boy, Robinson, it looked like Robinson was going to make another tackle. Is there a flag? Yeah, there it is. That's
It's going to be a hold, yes.
I thought it was, but I didn't see the flag because if there's not a hold, Kyron Anderson makes another tackle.
Well, I'm going to give you some of the numbers up front. Reed Knables at center. Ben Chambers at a tackle. I believe it's Cade Parham at guard. I said Chambers is at guard. Parham is at guard. Hummel's at a tackle. And let me see, that might be Parker Null. I can't tell from here.
Well, you got a screen right in front of you.
Well, I can't see it on the screen right now.
Ball all the way back to the 25-yard line. So 2nd down and about a half mile for the Tigers here. Sullivan in the shotgun. He's got Mayer with him. And Keegan fakes the pitch, wants to throw. Now rolling to the right, cuts back inside, and he is going to be sacked back at the 22-yard line. Wanted to throw the deep one after the fake pitch. And the Bears not fooled at all that time. And on the tackle was Jacob Doss, the senior defensive lineman. And it is literally 3rd and 33 for the Tigers.
You know how I love the offensive lineman? It's Brennan Hart at the right tackle. So Tigers, 3rd and 33 play. John, what do you dial up here?
Well,
Maybe a screen?
You got to go deep in the playbook to find a 3rd and 33 success play. 2 receivers to the left, Coleman and Johnston. 1 to the right. In motion out of the backfield goes Mayer. Little bubble screen to Harkins. He's across the 20 to the 25. Hit and drop there. Gain of 3. Brought down by Hosea Knifley, the sophomore defensive end. And the Tigers will punt, I believe, Tony. Is this the second punt of the night? Have the Tigers punted tonight? Let's check with Todd Powers.
I don't remember Kyle Nally punting.
They have not punted. The first punt of the night for the Tigers. And Nally has, that front's coming in here. He's got a lot of wind behind him here. Good snap. Boots it out of there. It's a high wobbler. It is fumbled, and the Tigers have it.
Can't advance
it. You can't advance it. Andre Coleman picked it up and runs all the way down into the end zone, but it's a muff at the 37. That's where Coleman picked it up, and that's where the Tigers will get it at the Butler 37-yard line.
And one of the worst rules in football. You can fumble at any time, but if you drop a punt, it's not advanceable, and that makes no sense to me, but I'm not going to go on that.
Oh, come on.
Tigers get the turnover. Andre Coleman getting down the field in a bad play by the Bears, and the Tigers will take over at the Bears' 37-yard line as they lead by 32 points here late in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10, Sullivan in the shotgun. Coleman in motion from right to left. They'll give it to Austin Mayer up the gut. He's got about 5 across the 35, down about the 32-yard line before he is hauled down. Good blocking at the point of attack, 2nd down and 5.
And, John, I wanted to say something on that Harkins screen. That's 2 names you're going to hear next year a whole lot, Keegan Sullivan to Bryson Harkins. And just remember I told you that because those guys are going to have a huge year together next year.
2nd down and 5. Mayer's the setback. And it's going to be Austin off tackle. Has the 1st down inside the 25-yard line. Actually, they'll spot it right just inside the 25. Miller made the tackle. Desmond Miller, the co-captain for the Bears. But 2 Austin Mayer runs and a 1st down for the Tigers.
Well, Mayer, he's a 5'9", 165 senior, getting an opportunity to get in and get some carries.
Jack Gapin in for the Tigers at wide receiver. He and Zach Johnston are lined up to the left. Harkins to the right on 1st and 10. You can hear the wind in our microphones. Mayer again, tripped up as he crossed the 25. Hosea Knifley with another tackle. Down at the 22, it's a gain of about 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
And the wind's blowing in our mics, and we barely have the window open.
Yeah, it's you can look at the flags, Tony. They are. We'll check with Jim after this play, but well, maybe not after this play. It'll be the end of the quarter. This is Mayer again up the middle, and he is hit at the 20 and pushed back there. Caleris Graves, the senior, made the tackle right at the 20-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 6 for the Tigers to start the 4th quarter. 38-6. St. X with the lead tonight through 3. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape? Knights Travel can meet all your travel needs. Knights Travel is Louisville's premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacation. For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Luke Conklin at 292-4750 or Kaylin Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by Nights. It's the best way to travel.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all your vision needs. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com or call 589-1500. That's 589-1500.
Terry Miners here, St. X class of 75. Go Tigers! You know who else loves the Tigers? DFH Heating and Cooling. That's the Don F. Hinkabine Company. Chris, Alex, lots of the Hinkabines have been working for like 80 years taking care of people's HVAC systems. Let them come and just do regular maintenance on your HVAC system so that your heater's ready to crank this winter. Let's go Tigers. Heat them up on the field, and let's go DFH. Call them at 968-6222. And they're online at dfhcompany.com.
The right hash mark. Jude Carlin will hold it. Sullivan's pass to Coleman on third down was incomplete to start the quarter. Matija kicks it up, and it's going to come up a little bit short. So the Bears will take over at their own 20, 11:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's 38-6, St. X with the lead as we continue to try to keep tabs on other scores. Central in 3A now with a 48-21 lead over number one ranked Belfry down at the Hive. So the Yellow Jackets appear to be on their way to advancing to a state semifinal once again.
And that's why they play such a tough schedule. Play 6A, 5A. They play everybody above them, and they get better at the end of the year, and that's showing tonight.
First down for the Bears. Dobson off the bench, and he's blitzing. And he almost got to Burks, who got the pass away. Short of the first down is Frank Caldwell.
Got a Bear down, too.
And a Tiger down as well. And I believe that is Peyton Mattingly for the Tigers. Slow to get up. And the Bears, that's James Mouser again, Tony, the offensive lineman who was down in the first half. So with two guys down, we'll take a break. 38-6 Tigers, 11:35 to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig on behalf of the Bissig Impact Center. We have room for two tenants here at the Bissig Impact Center, right on 4th Street.
You know what? I know Peyton. I just looked down because I was trying to figure out who it was.
And then Gapin
Correct
came
me.
in on offense. I'm not correcting you on the air. Gapin came in on
That's
offense.
5830333.
And I was like, Gapin on wide
The
receiver.
Bissig
Because I
Impact
didn't
Center.
question you when you
Home
said
for
it.
your
I didn't think about it.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I didn't
wait a
either.
minute, is Gapin playing both?
No, I didn't even think about it either.
Beechwood's going to end
Planning an
KC
event for
this year,
thousands?
28-7
At
after
Events
3.
LLC, designers are available to provide custom
I'm happy for
production
the
and
Jackets.
creative design services to coordinate your perfect event. Hosting a smaller gathering?
What, I'm
Try
sorry?
their rental,
I'm happy for the
installation, and
Jackets.
delivery services.
Yeah, I always
Events
pull for
LLC
'em.
has everything needed to facilitate
I think they're a
your
class
next event.
down there.
Their 66,000 square foot warehouse is filled with unique props, linens, dance
What's
floors,
it-
and
Jason
anything
said
else you can
Central
think of.
turned the Belfry
Call
defense into Swiss cheese.
583-5007 or visit eventsllc.com.
Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. As Peyton Mattingly looks to be okay, heading off on his own. Mouser jogging off for Butler. 38-6, Tigers lead the Bears here. Hello to Rob Burke, who finally got in range. Want to say hi to your brother, Tony, as he's been complaining to us for the last quarter and a half. So hello, Mo. Good to have you listening.
And, John, earlier I gave Will Gapin a tackle. It should have been Peyton Mattingly, and I'm going to apologize to Peyton. I know Peyton very well, and sometimes you look down and just find a number, and it just catches you off guard, and you corrected me. So
St. Martha guy, right?
He sure is.
So after the 8-yard gain on first down, the Bears have it at their own 28, second down and 2. Burke still in at quarterback in the pistol. He'll hand it to Jackson running left. He's got the first down and hauled down from behind. That is Richard Bascom, who was able to grab hold and hang on for the tackle.
Along with
got a little help there.
Jack Crane, I'm sorry.
Jack Crane with a tackle. We love it when all these new numbers get in there, but boy, sometimes it's difficult.
We work hard to get you who's on there, but it is tough sometimes because they're not the normal numbers that we look at.
It's a first down for the Bears at their own 36 with 10.5 to play. Wanting to throw, in trouble, and a sack. Double-edged sack on Burks.
Skrotsky,
Nathan Skrotsky from the linebacker spot, and the other Bascom, Alex Bascom, in there as well. They sort of sandwiched Burks back at the 30. A loss of 6, second down and long.
Well, Skrotsky came from the outside, and the left offensive tackle couldn't get to him in time. And, boy, he came in and made the play. Got the 2 Bascom twins on the defensive line. As the clock runs, the 10 minutes left in the ball game. Tigers lead by 32.
Burks with a quick throw to the right. It is caught by Bentley. Peyton Mattingly, good to see him back in there. Couldn't bring him down. He got across the 40. And he is brought down well short of the first down. Nathan Pike.
Brandon Bischoff.
Tackle, along with Brandon Bischoff. Got to the 41-yard line, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Bears. As we have one eye on this game and trying to keep an eye on other scores as well, trying to get that Scott County Frederick Douglass score.
Gosh, and Cal has scored again.
Quick throw to the right, caught by Bentley. First down, pushed out of bounds right at the marker. Andrews Ogbagu made the hit out of bounds, but it's a first down for the Bears. Bentley needed 5 yards, got 6. Out to the 47-yard line.
24-3 with 8:35 left over on Kenwood. Colts lose.
Hand off Jackson running right, big hole down the right sideline, and he's still in bounds, finally forced out.
Eric Lyons.
Last man there was Eric Lyons to push him out at the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 23 and a first down for the Bears. Yeah, the Colts of DeSales, Tony, undefeated regular season, 12-0 coming in tonight. They beat Cal in the regular season, but it looks like their season is going to end tonight over on Kenwood Drive.
Well, Cal's a different team with Austin Carr at quarterback, and he hadn't played most of the year. But over here, the Bears have the ball down to the Tiger 24-yard line. They trail 38-6.
3 receivers in the pattern, and Eric Jackson is the lone setback. High toward the end zone. The pass, it is caught for the touchdown. Right through the hands of the defender, and Tay Crooms with the catch. It's a 24-yard touchdown pass for the Bears.
Well, Andrew Zabagu had great position. The ball just kind of went through his hands, and a great catch by Crooms.
I don't know how Crooms actually saw the football.
Andrew Zabagu did everything right but catch the football.
Absolutely. So it looks like the Bears are going to go for a couple here, maybe. Yeah, they're going to go for 2. Why not? Trailing at 38-12. Burks with a slant to Crooms, and this one he can't hold on to. So it's 38-12 Tigers, 9:05 to play. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Tony, Jim, and Todd. 38-12. Tigers with only 10 men up. They've got 11 out there. And Frank Caldwell will kick it away. We'll see if the Bears go for the onside kick. They do. And they are going to, I don't know if they're going to get it or not.
Should have.
Frank Caldwell should have gotten it, or Frank Bentley, should have gotten the Frank Caldwell kick. And they did. The Bears have the football, and it does look like Bentley is going to come out of there with it.
John,
I don't know what the Tigers are doing there.
I want to tell you what happened. Drew Spencer, I think, reached out and just tipped it or pushed him a little, and the ball kind of bounced away. So give Drew Spencer an assist right there and keeping that ball from getting. And you had to think they were going to do that.
Yeah, Tigers certainly looked like they were not ready for that, which is actually very surprising. And even more surprising, Andrew Yules, Ben Shugart, Nolan Bruner, O'Day, Walker, Pate, Tigers, Owen, Schaffner, all the starters back out there for the Tiger defense. So Burks in the shotgun, wants to throw on first down. Throws to the left, and it's picked off at the 35, and with open field in front of him is Connor O'Day, his second interception of the season, and he returns it to the Bear 37-yard line.
Well, after the onside kick and the Bears recover, Tigers get it back on the next play. So the Tigers will take over at the Bear 37-yard line with just under 9 minutes left. 38-12. It's the next Tigers. I don't know about this, John. Tigers brought their starters back in.
Yeah, I don't understand this. I guess it's sort of a, well, if you're going to onside kick, you think you're still in the game. If you think you're still in the game, we're going to play like you're still in the game. And I don't understand it. Actually, Sullivan's still the quarterback. Here's Ginter running right. He's to the 30 and tripped up by Desmond Miller from behind at the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 13 on first down for Will Ginter. Give Ginter some credit, Tony. This kid's always ready to play, and when Allgaier went down tonight, he has stepped up.
Yeah, like you said, he almost broke it. The only thing that scares me, let me say why I don't think you should. These guys have been sitting not thinking they were playing. You don't want to get somebody hurt right now.
Crum and Mueller to the left on 1st and 10. Todd Powers said Ginter now over 100 yards for the Tigers. Double H-backs in Varga and Zoller on first down. Actually, Ginter 65 yards, Todd tells us. They pitch it to him, and he's going to get less than 65 now because
he's got about 58.
A bad pitch, and he is hit in the backfield. Victor Sarver, the linebacker, came through and made the hit back at the 31-yard line, loss of 7. It'll be 2nd and long for the Tigers. Central has added a touchdown.
I saw that.
54-21 over number 1 Belfry.
In 3A.
The Yellow Jackets will advance to the state semifinal next week.
That's a long ride back to Belfry.
Ooh. They had a lot of fans down there at the Hive tonight as well. Running right is Ginter. He's inside the 30 to about the 26, so he'll get about 5 yards back there. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Tigers as we're under 7.5 to play.
Trinity now leads 42-10 with 6 minutes left, so they're going to advance to the semifinals.
Yeah, I don't think the Rocks were happy with the touchdown or with the field goal kick from Simon Kent. KCD will see its season end tonight, 35-14 Beechwood. 7 minutes to play there out at KCD. Sullivan throws over the middle, has a man. It's Mueller at the 10. He's hauled down immediately, but a first down for the Tigers on 3rd and 13, and a great throw from Keegan Sullivan, Tony, right on the money to Ben Mueller. Terrence Glass made the tackle and slow to get up, but he is finally up.
Well, the most impressive thing about that throw, John, he stayed in the pocket, stepped up, and took a hit right after he threw the football. So he hung in there, threw it on the money, and Ben Mueller with a nice crossing pattern across the middle. 1st and 9. 1st and goal from the 9.
Tigers in the green zone, brought to you by the Eye Care Institute, Dr. Brennan Green. Handoff to Ginter, cuts outside, now back in at the 5. Hit and dropped at about the 4-yard line. Boy, just quick feet from Will Ginter. It's that lacrosse training, Tony. Lacrosse training. Not cross training.
I was going to say.
Lacrosse training.
Well, he made a nice cut. He went to the outside. He cut it back up the middle, takes it down to the 4-yard line as the clock goes down to about 6 minutes left in this football game. 38-12 Tigers here late in the football game.
And Todd tells me Ginter has 200 yards now. Oh, no, now he's correcting himself again. Gain of 5, 2nd down and goal. End around here to Crum, and this one's going nowhere. There's that man Anderson. Hits Will Crum in the backfield, brings him down. They'll give him the 8-yard line. I think that's generous. It's a loss of 4, and it'll bring up 3rd and goal for the Tigers.
And I think that's a play just to give Will Crum a chance. They never give him the ball. He usually is not ever the motion man. They give it to him, give him an opportunity, and, boy, the Bears and K-Ron Anderson, boy, he's a player, and he's everywhere. And he came in this game with 118 tackles, and I think he has, as Todd just told us, 200. No, that's wrong.
Sullivan in the shotgun. Play action, rolling to the right, wants to throw, does throw, into traffic, gets caught, and for the touchdown, terrific catch, Ben Mueller, his second touchdown of the night.
Wow,
I take it back, it's his first touchdown.
In the replay, he reached out, basically got one hand on it in traffic, pulls it in. What a catch by Ben Mueller.
What a throw, too, into traffic, Tony. I mean, I think Sullivan knew he was going to Mueller the whole time, but he fit it in a very small window.
I thought he might tuck it and run there for a second, but he zipped that thing in there.
Matija in for the extra point. Kicks it up and through. It is 45-12 Tigers, 5:17 to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
In my house, watching
That is Mueller's sixth touchdown of the year.
But when it's not on, getting high-quality party rentals for the next backyard barbecue or get-together is an even bigger deal. That's why I call Rent and Rave for any event ranging from 10 people to 10,000. They offer residential and commercial grills along with linens, dishes, tables, chairs, tents, lighting, heaters, and fans to expand the party outside in any season. With over 20 years of experience, call 502-245-9966 or visit rentandrave.com.
Smart holiday shoppers start with Courier Journal's Thanksgiving Early Edition. Stuffed with Black Friday steals and deals and gift ideas for everyone on your list. It's our biggest edition of the year. Pick up the Thanksgiving CJ. Available a day early on Wednesday afternoon at participating retailers in Clark, Floyd, and Jefferson counties. Subscriber papers will be delivered Thanksgiving morning. Remember, smart holiday shoppers start with Courier Journal's Thanksgiving Early Edition.
Well, before the kickoff here, hey, Jimmy Brinkman, that was a terrific catch from Ben Mueller and just as good a throw from Keegan.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best catches we've seen in the 13 games. Guys, I want to give a shout out to the strength of schedule of St. Xavier. You know, 6 of their 10 opponents were still in the playoffs here in the third week.
That's an interesting number because that's hard to do, to have all those opponents, and a lot of them that are out got beat by teams that St. X had already played as well. So kickoff by Matija, taken short at about the 25. Butler returns it to the 31-yard line, so the Bears will start first and 10 there. 45-12. Tigers lead it. They'll advance to the state semifinal next week right here at St. X. They'll play the winner of
Frederick Douglass,
Scott County, as we continue to search for that score.
Come on, somebody help us out.
It was 21-7 at last check in favor of Scott County. And off to the races goes Burks, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Well, there's a block in the back, not called, but it's a touchdown regardless. Chaz Burks goes 69 yards. The Bears back on the scoreboard.
And, John, a lot of different numbers in there for the Tigers, about the third group. So those things happen, new guys in the game. But Butler does get another touchdown, which is not a big deal at this point. Score does not matter. 4:57 left. Bears get on the board, and they cut it to 45-18. And Butler, I believe, is going to take a timeout here and go for 2.
Now we'll keep it right here during this. Well, actually, they didn't take a timeout. They're just going to go for 2.
Okay, thought they were going to stand over and wait.
So Burks, who just ran 69 yards for the touchdown, will stand in the pistol. He's got Jackson behind him. He wants to throw. A little fade pattern to the right, and it's knocked away. Good defense. Bentley was the intended receiver. Jackson Bunting went up, knocked it away. 4:57 to go. We'll take a break. Tigers lead at 45-18. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all your vision needs. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com or call 589-1500. That's 589-1500.
Let's see, I need to replace the microwave, so I'll stop by Bargain Supply. We need a new shovel and garden gloves. I'll get those at Bargain Supply. Oh, and light bulbs. Bargain Supply for those too. Well, this should be an easy trip.
Bargain Supply has 60,000 square feet of merchandise, so you can find and save on everything you need in one easy stop. Save on appliances, electronics, tools, and more at Bargain Supply, 844 East Jefferson in Nulu, downtown Louisville.
Glad to see Jack Klausing, the Tiger assistant rugby coach, come in and say hi.
I think I'd screwed up if I was the Tigers.
Yeah, we've seen one onside kick be very successful. New kicker in there now is Austin Boog. Easy for me to say. Austin Boog. B-O-O-G. I'm not making it up,
Boog
folks.
pal.
He will kick it away. And it is an onside kick, and the Tigers fall on it at the 49-yard line. We'll see who came up with that one. Jumping up and down with the ball. Very excited to recover that onside kick. Troy Embry, the defensive back, fell right on it, right on the cross at midfield. Tigers will start at their own 49. 4:55 to play. St. X leads it 45-18. And John Kleinkraut, the senior, in a quarterback for the Tigers. He'll give it to Miles. He keeps it on the run to the right. He's got a first down across the 45 to the 40. They'll spot it at the 41, but that's 10 yards and a first down for the Tigers.
I was getting ready to tell you, John Kleinkraut's going to keep the football.
Yes.
He likes to run with it, and he does a nice job. And came in here, I told you, last time he got in the game, he's got 9 for 57, so 10 for 67 on the year, 6.7 a carry.
And, Tony, who's wearing Brett Metzmeyer's number in the backfield with him? That's what I want to know.
I will listen.
It doesn't matter because he keeps it again. No gain this time. Push back right at the line of scrimmage by Kenneth Williams, the senior. It'll be second down and 10. But you're right. He's a senior. You know what? I'm keeping the football.
It's like when you get in the end of the basketball game and they throw you the ball. You don't pass it, you shoot it.
Two receivers to the left for the Tigers. And one to the right on second and 10. This time they do hand it off. We'll see who it is, hopefully.
Listen.
Across the 40 to the 38-yard line. A gain of 3. Logan Davis. Sophomore, I believe. Got 3 to the 38. The clock is under 4 minutes now. It'll be third down and 7 for the Tigers at the Butler 38-yard line.
Got Donlin and Beeline in there on the offensive line. A couple different numbers, a lot of different numbers out there.
Lewis Woles is in at wide receiver for the Tigers. Gapin back in there as well. This is Gapin in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. Cuts inside 35, 30, first down, 25, and pushed out of bounds by Greg Jackson all the way down at the 23-yard line, a gain of 15 for Jack Gapin.
Nice job, nice decision by John Kleinkraut. That's easy for me to say.
No, it's not. It's not easy for anybody to say. We graduated with his dad, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Schoen is in at the H-back spot for the Tigers. Two receivers go to the left, including Ty Bentley. On first and 10, handoff. This is Logan Davis up the middle. He's got a first down inside the 10. And Greg Jackson with his 8th touchdown-saving tackle of the night.
At least.
And I think that's accurate. It's a gain of 15 yards for Logan Davis. And a first and goal for the Tigers at the 8 with 3 minutes to play.
I believe that's Chase Ferris's little brother, Turner Ferris, at the center. Trying to get these linemen. I love the linemen. You know that. Michael Minor's in it, left tackle.
2 to the left, 1 to the right on first down and goal at the 8. Tigers in the green zone once again. And here's Miles Harris, I believe. He gets to the 6, not much more. Hauled down there by a couple of Bears, including Miller.
And, John, these are where these guys, they get to practice all the time and don't get in the game. This opportunity, and this is where the starters get excited for these guys.
Miles Harris will come out now. Austin Mayer will come back in. Kleinkraut with a long snap count. Now he looks over to the bench.
Clock down to 2 minutes.
Hunter Mock in at H-back. And he will give it to Austin Mayer. Not much there. Hauled down right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and goal for the Tigers inside the 6 with 1:53 to play.
Tigers lead 45-18 here. And this is something that you don't get to do a lot of times in a regional final. Get your third, get your seconds, your thirds in the game, and you feel good. You get to rest guys. And Tigers will move on to the semifinals next week here at Brother Thomas More Stadium.
3rd down and goal. Kleinkraut in the shotgun. He will keep it running to the left. In trouble. Looks at a team picture of the Bear defense.
Drop the ball.
The ball comes out. And the Tigers look like they may have gotten back on it. Bryce Donlin looks like he may have fallen on it. He did. And it'll be 4th down for the Tigers at about the 7-yard line. Clock continues to run with 1:19 to play. Actually, they stopped it after the fumble, but they'll start it back up here with 1:19 to go.
Tiger offense will get one more play, John, with 4th down and looks like a timeout. Butler, somebody maybe hurt.
So it's a final now from DeSales Christian Academy 24, the Colts 3. So DeSales finishes 12-1. And their next game will be against the St. X Tigers to open the season next year at DeSales.
Very interesting game to start the season. Better get your tickets early because there's going to be a lot of people over at DeSales to open the season. But Tigers doing an excellent job here tonight, John. And if Scott County, which was leading earlier, we haven't seen anything, moves on, they would come here. Trinity's winning big at Trinity, and they will, looks like Central Hardin.
Probably, in all
likelihood. That was a big lead they had early on, and we're still trying to pick up these scores off of Twitter.
Central, first one to 60 wins down at the Hive. And
they're still scoring down there.
They now lead Belfry 60-21 late in the 4th quarter. So 4th down here, the Tigers will go for it. 4th and goal, ball at about the 7. Handoff to Mayer up the middle, and he is stopped at the 1-yard line. He fell in the end zone. They're kind of celebrating as if it's a touchdown, but he was marked down at the 1, and the Bears will take over 1st and 10 right at their own 1-yard line with 1:02 to play. And Austin Mayer got some good blocking up front from those 3rd and 4th team offensive linemen, but just could not quite make it into the end zone. So 1st and 10, Chaz Burks is under center this time. He's got Eric Jackson dotting the I. They'll give it to Hauser, who was in at the fullback spot. Mouser, excuse me.
I like it.
I love it. The big linemen, they are celebrating are the
but all the offensive linemen are pointing at themselves. Like, can I run the ball? Look at them all. They're all pointing at themselves.
Let me run the ball with
My
45
turn.
seconds. Give Mouser credit, Tony. Looked good there. The co-captain got a couple of yards. Got a couple yards out to the 3. It's 2nd and 8. And now they'll pitch it to Jackson running to the right. He is across the 10, has the 1st down. Pulled down there. Let's get the name of that tackler. It's Jacob Exley, the linebacker.
Alex Johnson there too.
Out to the 13, 1st and 10 for the Bears with 17 seconds. They are going to try to get another playoff. Why not? You're in the state quarterfinals as a 4 seed. Burks back to throw. He does throw it over to Bentley. Trying to make a couple of moves. Not much there. Got to the 18 and hauled down, and that'll do it. Tigers advance 45-18 with a win over the Butler Bears here tonight. We'll keep it right here and get the comments of the head coach as we check for some more scores. KCD in Single A, their season has ended at home tonight. Beechwood, the #1 team in Single A, came down and beat the KCD squad 35-14. As we just continue to scroll around and looking for scores here. So it'll be St. X hosting either Scott County or Frederick Douglass next week. It was 21-7 Scott County at halftime over Frederick Douglass. Scott County runs that wing T, Tony. It's like playing Georgia Tech. It's hard to prepare for them in just a week.
Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of discipline. If you play well and you stop the run game, Scott County's not going to throw it, but they've got 2,000-yard rushers that they will bring in here. If they win, I'm still trying to pull up the score.
Tigers will, well, no, don't know. That's just a St. X final. 45-18 here tonight. Jack Albers was really good tonight, Tony.
He was, and good decision-making. We saw him being a little more aggressive running the football, and good things when Jack Albers plays well. It's hard to beat these Tigers, and the Tigers do advance to the Final Four, the semifinals, and that, Coach Wolford talked about it, John, early on. We talked about you get a better draw as the 2 seed out of the district, but the Tigers have held serve at home. They'll get one more here, and if you can win the next game here at St. X High School, then you move on to Lexington to play in the state finals.
Jack Albers with 2 touchdown runs tonight, 2 touchdown passes. He's our DFH Heating and Cooling Player of the Game. DFH Heating and Cooling. Call the Hinky Binds for all your heating and cooling needs. And give Gary Wheeler's team a lot of credit here tonight, Tony. They go to Ryle, be the number 1 seed. Then they go to Male, or as you call it, the old Durrett campus, be the number 2 seed. And then they have to play a 3rd consecutive playoff road game tonight. And it just catches up with you at some point. The Tigers just taking care of business tonight, but the Bears were formidable opponents.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You have to have all the respect in the world for what this Butler team's done this year. 8-5 will be the final. They got beat up by the Tigers a little earlier in the season, and then they came back and played really well all year long. And it's a you don't want a consolation prize at this time of year, but a great job by the Butler Bears.
Alan Donhoff, St. X athletic director, handing out the runner-up trophy to Gary Wheeler and the regional championship trophy to Will Wolford. The Tigers will advance to the state semifinals next week at home, and now you're just one game away from getting to Kroger Field.
Yeah, it's just a great journey here for the Tigers, and we hope it keeps moving on through next week. So just find out what channel we're going to be on. We'll find out, and hopefully, I believe probably 790 next week.
I think we'll be on 790 next week. But we will tweet it out regardless, like we did today, and let you know exactly what channel we're on. We think we're going to be back on the home network, 790 KRD next week. But in any event, 45-18, Tigers with a win here tonight. It's a final down at Central, 60-21. The Yellow Jackets knock off the number 1 team in 3A, Belfry, and you heard me right, 60-21. In favor of the Yellow Jackets. New coach, Tony, but they just keep going.
I believe Jim's got the coach.
Jim, go ahead.
All right, Coach. Advance. You are the Region 3 6A champion.
Yeah, I tell you, it's 2 years in a row we've been able to go undefeated in the district and get through it in the playoffs, especially this year when you got to play everybody. The guys came out. They played well. They played hard. We had a very good week of practice, very few distractions. Next man up, we did it in a number of different spots, and very proud of them. We're heading on to the semifinals. What else can you ask for?
Jack Albers seemed like he was completely 100% tonight.
Yeah, he's a warrior. Every week he's gotten a little bit better. But since he's sent next game, he looks down, his finger's going the wrong way, dislocated, broken. Week to week, he has improved, and he threw the ball great tonight. It doesn't even look like he has a splint on it.
Right. Your offensive and defensive line seemed to just take over this game for you.
Yeah, that's what you want. We knew we had a bit of an advantage with our offensive line for sure, but the defensive line, they really showed up.
All right, Coach, I wish you the best luck. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll take a break. Thank you, Jimmy. Come back with the Eye Care Institute postgame report. 45-18, St. X with a win tonight over Butler. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You've been listening to the St. X Tigers and Jefferson